Welcome to Overwatch. In tonight's broadcast, we'll have the pleasure of casting the Midweek Madness event from the Overwatch University League community. I'm one of your hosts, Kabooks, doing play-by-play. Also with me tonight is my co-host, Feeny, who will be your color caster. Last but certainly not least, Trumu will be our producer tonight.
Thank you for the introduction, Kabooks. Tonight, during this event, we're going to have Shimada Yo Business going up against Bob for the first time here.
If you guys are interested in learning more about us or how you can get involved in one of the largest recreational Overwatch leagues, follow the link to the Discord in the channel's description. You can also follow us here on Twitter at OW University if you'd like to be updated when future streams go live. Feel free to drop by our subreddit, which is also located in the channel description.
So it looks like Shimada Yo Business is going to be starting off on defense, and we're going to see a Junkrat on the defense side here. Junkrat can be good on the first point here, especially if you back up and push through the column. He can lob a lot of grenades through that column and stop Bob from their offense. But we're going to see how it works out because Bob is going to be running pretty much a dive comp here with Winston, Genji, and Tracer.
Yes, Bob is going to be running a complete dive comp, and that might make it difficult for the Junkrat because Junkrats usually stand back and hold chokes. But with a dive comp, you charge in and break those chokes. So once the dive comp gets past the Junkrat, it's going to be hard for them to utilize that Junkrat effectively.
Yeah, definitely. However, both teams are running Lucio, so both teams are going to be very mobile in their rotations and how they fight. So if they are still running Junkrat and against a dive comp, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they move around one another.
Looks like Winston and D.Va are going to be taking that high ground on the rooftop, and Winston and D.Va immediately fall back down and rotate to the cart as they're going to be pushing around this corner here.
You know, in the back, we have Genji and Tracer trying to harass the backline of Shimada Yo Business here, and they are a little bit preoccupied by them. Tracer does get lit up here and does have to run back to her team. And it looks like Shimada Yo Business is going to be holding the high ground for a little bit longer, but not until D.Va and Winston try to take them down.
Yes, D.Va and Winston are going to be hopping on here, and the payload is going to be pushing around the corner. Looks like Shimada Yo Business is going to have to fall back here and try to hold the choke as Crazy Pants takes out Tracer.
Yeah, and Zambam actually got a really nice sleep there on Tracer, and it's going to slow down Bob immensely here. Even though they do push past this column, they are going to get cleaned up here, and a little bit staggered here as Naughty Fly does get taken down.
Definitely, Crazy Pants is doing a really nice job holding that choke for his team, but the dive comp is making Reinhardt's job extremely hard as they just keep diving in and pushing him back to the first point here as Crazy Pants get a nice charge on Lexus.
I feel bad for Lexus because he is a charge magnet right now. That's the second time Crazy Pants takes out Lexus on that Tracer with a charge. And while it looks like Bob was a little bit staggered, they still managed to come through here with Husky and Naughty Fly getting nice 2 picks. And they are not going to have enough time to regroup here, Shimada Yo Business. And it looks like Bob is going to take this pretty soon here, but Shimada Yo Business is not giving up on it just yet.
Yes, Grimlock was doing a very good job trying to contest that point, but he eventually goes down, and they're going to be taking the first point here.
And it looks like both teams are close to pretty much full ult economy here. Lexus is holding on to that Tracer bomb. He's going to have to make a play here to either take out their backline supports or even just take out that junk right here with that Tracer bomb so that it'll open up for Bob to just dive right in. Because if they don't get that pick, it's going to be really hard. Because Shimada Yo Business is running a really nice comp with Earth Shatter and Tactical Visor and Nano Boost here. So if they're going to dive into that, it's going to be hard for them without a pick.
Lexus with that Pulse Bomb immediately takes out Ana with their main healer down. It's going to be really hard for Shimada Yo Business to keep up that high ground as Bob is pushing the cart.
Yeah, and Lexus read my mind there, getting a nice pick on Ana, and as you can see, Bob just managed to roll right through here. And looks like Sound Barrier does get popped here. I'm not sure why, but looks like Bob is still trying to push on through. On that high ground, we have Winston trying to take out both Junkrat and Soldier. While they do manage to get away, they still manage to get past the little corridor here.
Yes, Bob is going to be pushing up the cart around this corner with Soldier still behind him, shooting down on the cart. He does get a nice Helix rocket, and he does pop Tac Visor as well. He's not really getting any picks with it, though, but it looks like Shimada Yo Business is going to be holding this point.
Yeah, they only have to spend Tactical Visor to hold this bridge here, which is pretty good. And Bob is actually going to have a harder time, even though they both have 4 ults here holding on. Shimano Business did retake that high ground. They still have that Nano Boost Earth Shatter as well, and Self-Destruct is going to go online on Exec Panda as well. So I think Shimano Business is going to have a better time holding this high ground here.
Looks like Bob is going to be flanking around left here. Maybe they are going to be going up top. It looks like they're going to be diving onto the cart from the high ground here. Tracer is trying to get a sweet pick off, but doesn't quite manage it as she's looking for a place to go behind.
Shimano Business is ready here as they are on the high ground, and Bob was decided to retreat here, not to challenge him, but it looks like they're about to go around here and pop Dragon Blade onto Soldier.
Dragon Blade immediately comes out, but also following Dragon Blade is that Sound Barrier that basically cancels it. And the Pulse Bomb also comes out from Tracer, but doesn't quite get Crazy Pants down. Primal Rage is also popped from Winston as Ika focuses down that Soldier, taking him out as well.
And Bob really needs to win that fight there. And it looks like Self-Destruct does get popped on the side of Shimano Business. Doesn't get anyone mixed up immediately, and they're going to have a little bit of a stagger here on Husky as he gets taken out by Crazy Pants on Earth Shatter. We have a little trade going on, but Shimano Business still holding on to that ult advantage here. As they are holding on to 3 ults and almost a tactical advisor. Vibe is doing a really good job holding that high ground, and Lexus here on Tracer trying to take him down. That's what he's going to need to do to allow Bob to push on through here with this ult disadvantage that they have.
Yeah, although Bob did a really good job of grouping up at the beginning, what happened as the fight progressed is they really spread out and they really didn't really know what was going on and what they were doing, so they basically got picked apart one by one.
One interesting thing to note that Bob actually went off the Lucio and opted to swap for that Ana instead, but it looks like the Earth Shatter is going to get popped as Crazy Pants starts swinging against Bob.
Really nice hammer down by Crazy Pants, does get a few picks there and takes out one of their supports. Looks like Shimano Business is going to be holding this point.
And like I said before, Bob did switch off that Lucio, so it's good. They're not going to engage as cleanly as they would like to if they had that Lucio, and also their DPS is going to be having a little bit more hard time as Zenyatta just does not have enough healing output to sustain those 2 DPS, and it's going to be a lot harder for Ana to heal them as well. So if I was Bob, it looks like they're kind of just running, kind of half a dive comp, kind of not in a dive comp. So even with the ults coming online here, they're going to have a little bit of a hard time pushing this next fight against Shimano Business.
Looks like Genji and Naughty. Oh, and speak of the devil, Lexus gets a really nice double Pulse Bomb kill with Naughty finishing off Ringgold with 3 picks in the name for Bob. That's what they need to push this card around this corner as Primal Rage does get popped.
Yeah, it looks like Bob is going to be cleaning up here. Primal Rage does get popped, and Crazy Pants a little bit staggered on the end there. And good job for them clutching it out at the end, and they are going to take this point. I really thought that Bob was going to have a hard time pushing in there as Shimano Business had the clear high ground advantage, but Lexus made it happen by getting those 2 picks off, and Bob just strolled on through. So great job by Lexus on that Tracer, making it happen for his team.
Looks like Bob was trying to pressure Shimano Business, trying to push him into this corner. They do manage to push the cart a little bit further here as Crazy Pants does push up to try to defend it.
Shimano Business is still holding on ult advantage, and Nano Boost and Tactical Advisor is going to get popped on the high ground. While he is doing some decent damage here, it looks like he is going to get Defense Matrix, but Defense Matrix is going to go down. Meanwhile, in the back, we have Dragon Blade swinging onto Junkrat, manages to pick him out finally, dashing right in, trying to get Diva as well. And Shimano Business is having a little bit of a hard time here, while Exec Panda almost has Self-Destruct and Earth Shatter online as well. He does get picked off by Bob here, and Dragon Blade does get popped. He doesn't have Nano Boost to boot, but he is going to be still a threat here on the front line, while Bob in the back is still pushing right on through. Exec Panda does get demeched onto Baby Diva, and he's going to get zapped here with that Discord orb on him. And on top here, it looks like Genji is trying to distract the 2 DPS, not having Dragon Blade, but just poking away at them. The 2 tanks finally come up here and manage to take them both out, and it looks like Bob is going to be coming out of that with a victory.
Yes, and Shimano Business really needs to step it up for this last push defense. There's only 20 seconds left as the hammer down does end up going out, but the Transcendence blocks it all off, with the Diva Bomb also coming out as well, finishing off Zambab, who is on that Ana. The Tracer Bomb also goes off as he finishes off Ringgold. All the picks are in the favor of Bob as the point is getting closer and closer to capping.
Yeah, and it looks like Dragon Blade does get popped to the end, and Bob does manage to take the first 3 rounds. Kabook, so what did you think of Lexus Tracer there?
It was really, really good. He got especially that double pulse bomb. It allowed their team to push in and take that second point. I think without that double pulse bomb there, they wouldn't have taken it.
Yeah, definitely. He had a double pulse bomb earlier too against Ana and Soldier as well, and another pulse bomb against Ana as well. Those are really key because just on their comp alone, like just go head to head, especially with that high ground position that Shimano Business have. It would have been really hard for them to push on through, but those tracer bombs and those key picks managed to have Bob open up and just push on against them. So really good job at Lexus there on tracer for making it happen for his team.
Yes, and throughout that match, we really saw what happens when you take dive comp and put it up against a Reinhardt. Reinhardt's really struggling in this flavor of the month meta because it's dive. It's really hard for Reinhardt to hold the position because the dive just dives straight onto his backline, and Reinhardt can't really do anything about it as all of his teammates get taken out around him. So it's very difficult for Reinhardt to hold the choke, especially against the dive.
There was a little bit of a misplay in Shimano Business as well with that Reinhardt, because before the second point checkpoint, Reinhardt was kind of chilling on the ground while the rest of his team was on the high ground, and as a result, Lexus and the Tracer just managed to harass all of them, and their team just wasn't able to hug the tank. So it's a little bit of a misplay there on that Reinhardt play, but like you said before, it is hard, especially in today's meta, to play Reinhardt against a pretty good dive comp there.
We are going to be seeing Crazy Pants on that Genji. We do play a lot together, Crazy Pants and I. And he usually plays tanks, but I have heard that he is practicing Genji on the side, so I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing here. Yeah,
we're going to see if that practice plays off. And it looks like Shimano Business is going to be running that Far of Mercy to take out this high ground. Usually, sometimes people run Winston, sometimes run Far of Mercy to handle this high ground on the defense side. And it looks like they're going to be running Far of Mercy to try to get a concussive shot off them, or at the very least scare them off here. Wive is not leaping up just yet, as he's waiting for the rest of his team to push on through. But once the team pushes on through, look to see Far of Mercy go up against Bob's defense here.
Yeah, I really want to see that Far use that concussive blast to try to push the defense off this point. Doesn't look like she's going to be doing it, though.
Yeah, it looks like D.Va and Winston is all they need to come on through here, as D.Va is caught out here on the side of Bob, and he does get D-Mech, and Wive and the rest of Shimano Business does manage to almost take her out, but unfortunately she did get away with the help of the team. And Wive is going off here as he takes out Soldier, and that's going to allow them to push through the show.
Yeah, Far doing work, basically going uncontested here, as the Far Mercy is doing absolute destruction in the skies here, managing to pressure Reinhardt here, and we see why Reinhardt has such a difficult time in this dive meta.
Yeah, it looks like Reinhardt does get a nice charge though, taking out Crazy Pants there, and while it looks like Shimano Business was taking it, Bob didn't manage to take it back, but nice play on the Zenyatta on that Soldier, but look to see a reset here as Ringo reses 2.
Yes, there is that res there, but it's a little bit questionable because they already lost that push with only two res there. I'm not sure they would have been able to take it, even if everything, the stars aligned.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shimano Business is a little bit staggered in both like the man advantage and the ults here, as we have Dragon Blade coming online soon, and with Sound Barrier, but they don't have a res to cover them. So it's going to be a little bit awkward if they do decide to push here, while on the Bob side, they're going to have all ults online here pretty soon, and Talon almost having that Dragon Blade as well, and Bob is looking pretty good for this defense here on the bridge.
Yes, Bob was doing a really good job with taking Lexus on the high ground and Talon in the back line, really sandwiching Shimano Business and just really pressuring them, as Nani is going to be pushing up and trying to get that cheeky fire strike. Doesn't manage to get anyone, but they do manage to hold this choke for now.
It looks like they are ready to initiate Shimano Business side, as they are going to come in with that self-destruct. Look to see self-destruct get lobbed over the bridge and Dragon Blade to get popped here as Lucio pushes them right in.
Let's really see what Crazy Pants can do with that Dragon Blade as we push into one of the final pushes of the time here.
It looks like we have a minute left to boot, and Bob is still sitting pretty on the 4 ults, and it looks like Shimano Business is waiting a little bit longer for the res, as it is at 87% here, and Bob is looking in. Dragon Blade does get popped against Bob.
Dragon Blade in Fire Barrage gets popped, but the Transcendence negates it all. Really well played Transcendence by Zen. The Hammer Down does come out from Reinhardt, does get a lot of picks, but doesn't quite manage to take him out as the self-destruct comes out from D.Va. Talon also with his Dragon Blade immediately focuses on Ringgold, taking him out, as well as the D.Va self-destruct uses as a good zoning off. Attack Visor also popped by Lexus, finishing off Far there, only taking him out, as looks like Shimada Business is going to be taken out here.
And Shimada Business was a little bit uncoordinated there. They got really split at the end. Crazy Pants popping Dragon Blade against the backline is what he should have been doing, but it looks like his team wasn't really supporting him, especially with that self-destruct and that Winston. They kind of got popped into two separate places, and it was really awkward fight for Shimada as they got split up.
Yeah, it looks like Husky is going to manage to take out Panda here, as he was using his Primal Rage there. Looks like Shimada Business is holding this point really well, as the clock is ticking down. It's going to be going into overtime any second, as Bob is going to be holding on to this point.
Yeah, and Naughty Fly on the Bob side still has Earthshatter, and while Shimada Business is going to try one more time for this push here, they might be able to do it. Crazy Pants is holding on the Dragon Blade too, but Naughty Fly with a nice Earthshatter on the front, taking out D.Va, but meanwhile, Crazy Pants with that Dragon Blade taking out Mercy on the back line, and Transcendent does get popped, and Self-Destruct is up in the air, taking out Wibe in the air. Great job there by Husky, and while it looked really looked like they were about to compete there, Bob managed to hold it down.
Yes, even though Crazy popped his Dragon Blade in the back, he did manage to get the Mercy, which was a huge pick, but his team wasn't there to support him, and they all got wiped out.
Yeah, and they weren't really ready for the self-destruct and the Earthshatter as well to start it off, and Bomb just managed to hold it pretty well.
And that's going to be victory for Bob, with Lexus getting to play the game for Shutdown, and we're going to be going into the second round.
Yep, and the second round is going to be Nepal, I believe. And here we have a nice play here on the side of Lexus. We have Tackle Visor getting popped here, and I noticed that he got knocked back and just got a free pick on Genji there. Dragon Blade was about to run out, but still a nice kill regardless. I would like to see Lexus play that Tracer more. He's doing a really good job on the side of Bob to make it happen for his team on the offense side. And I think he would have had a better chance on Tracer on the defense side as well. But I think his Soldier was good as well.
Yes, definitely. And we are going to be seeing our next map on Nepal. I can't wait to see a King of the Hill, because that's when Tracer is going to be pulled out.
You really want to see some Tracer today, huh?
I really want to see some Tracer, especially if we can get it on King's Row. It's a match made in heaven, man. Match made in heaven.
Next round. So, in the meanwhile, we're going to bring in our producer Trumu here. Trumu, what did you think about that last match?
The last match, let's see, was actually really good since, from Shimada Business. They didn't really, they defended well, but wasn't compared to Bob. There was a few here and there, but from their Reinhardt, they didn't have Reinhardt, but from their Winston, he did good, but he did use his ult a little bit messy. But from Bob, the Reinhardt did good, and then he switched to wait, no, I think I got them mixed up. Wait. Yeah, no, Shimada had Reinhardt, sorry about that. But Crazy Pants, I think, was on the Reinhardt. He did a really good Reinhardt. He got a good hammer downs, but he also did good Genjis, but also got shut down from the Transcendence. But Bob did really good defending and attacking. They had an excellent push in here and there, and was probably flawless, or the best they can do from a pickup group.
It looks like both teams are ready, and we are going to go into it here.
Definitely, and I'm really excited to see. Maybe we're going to see a double dive pulled out for each team.
Yeah, I think we're going to see double dive for sure. At least a Lucio on both sides, as King of the Hill is really good for Lucio here. But we might see Reinhardt as well, since taking the little corners, or taking the shrine and taking the close quarter CP maps like this one here is going to be really good for Ryan, as he has such big space control in these close points. So we're going to see what each team runs. It looks like we have both Lucios do come out. Looks like we are going to be running some sort of either dive or Far Mercy on both sides.
Most definitely, and we are going to be seeing Lexus on that Tracer. I can't wait to see what work he does on there. And then for Bob, we are going to be seeing, for Shimada Your Business, we are going to be seeing that Farm Mercy and Panda on that Winston. So they are going to be running a sort of a dive count for both sides.
Yeah, one thing to note that Bob do not have the resources to handle Farm Mercy, really. So it's going to be really hard for them unless the Zac gets some seriously sick orbs on Farm Mercy. It's going to be really hard for them to handle that combo on the side of Shimada Your Business.
Yes, and if the Farm Mercy can do work, that's basically a secured victory there, as the point is going to unlock in about 25 seconds, and both teams are going to moving towards it now.
And here we have both teams getting to the point really quick thanks to that Lucio, and we have Shimada Your Business wrapping around here on the left side, trying to get a quick pick on Bob, but looks like Talon does manage to get taken out by Crazy Pants, as Shimada Your Business is off to a great start.
Yes, and with that, Shimada Your Business gets a really nice pick. It's a 6v5 advantage for Shimada Your Business as the point unlocks, but Husky and Zac both take out Grimlock and Zambam, and now it's in favor of Bob, and they could be taking this point.
Yeah, and Bob was doing a really good job recovering from that pick, and Lexos there on that Tracer getting a nice pick on Ringo. That's going to shut down Shimada Your Business' book here, essentially, unless Lexos does get another Tracer Bomb onto D.Va, and there's Lexos on that Tracer, making it happen for his team once again.
Yes, Alexis getting his pulse extremely quickly, finishing off that D.Va secure the point. Really good Tracer play on Lexus.
And Shimada Your Business really needs to abuse this Farm Mercy here. They got picked off really early, but they could have had so much more ground there if they used their Farm Mercy a little bit more effectively on the point. But even with that pick on Talon, they managed to not secure it out. But they should be able to with this Farm Mercy combo and Bob not really having any answers to it.
We are going to be seeing Shimada Your Business push straight on point, but immediately get taken down by Bob as their tanks do finish off Zambam, and Talon also finishing off Panda here. So with both tanks down, they should back up and regroup.
Yeah, and one thing to note here, during that fight, Lexus on Bob's side really shut down that far, or at least the Mercy, like chasing her around, and Ringold was having a really hard time against her. So even though it's good to see that Bob was able to answer that Fire Mercy indirectly with that Tracer, just chasing that Mercy around and harassing her.
The point is 60% complete already for Bob, as Shimada Your Business really needs to regroup and push in as a team and take this point. We are going to be seeing ultimates coming up for each side. They're both going to be having almost all their ultimates here, as they're going to be, as Winston's going to be popping in, focusing down Zenyatta, as the Sand Barrier does come out for Bob here, but the picks are also going up for Bob as well, as they're going to be holding this point.
Great job there by Bob. A little bit of questionable transcendence there. Tactical visor, just about tactical visor, which it's not too bad. But yeah, really good job there by Bob. Zambam jumped right in on the side of Shimada Your Business, and he was expecting his team to follow him around, but Lexus and Talon was doing a really good job harassing their backline, and as a result, Zambam didn't get the support that he needed. And looks like he gets picked off here again as Talon pops Dragon Blade against Shimada Your Business.
Yeah, Talon is going to be popping Dragon Blade, does finish off Crazy Pants Husky, and also Farah is going to be popping her Rocket Barrage as well. Pulse Bomb is going to be going out for Lexus, does manage to finish off Panda, who has switched to Reinhardt. Husky, using that Primal Rage very effectively, does manage to finish off Zambam, as they're just trying to contest at this point, but the first round is going to be going to Bob.
Shimada Your Business had a really hard time there against the two backline DPS, Lexus and Talon, on that Tracer and Genji respectively. Like you saw in the last two fights, like Zambam would just jump right in, and like at the moment he jumps right in, their backline would just get attacked relentlessly, and they couldn't follow him in. It was really hard for them to handle that backline DPS, and they're going to need some sort of answer for these two DPS characters. Otherwise, it's the same thing's going to happen every time, where Zambam dives right in, but his team is too busy with the two DPS players.
I think they might need to switch up the Winston here, and they are thinking the same thing, as they are going to be going to triple tank with Zambam on that Roadhog and Weemby on that Zarya.
And this triple tank deathball lineup with Lucio and Soldier and Mercy as well is a great answer. We have triple tank that's going to be really hard for the dive comp to just kill them instantly. And we also have Mercy and Lucio as well to engage against fights cleanly and to escape against things like Dragon Blade as well. So I'm really liking the picks on the side of Shimada Your Business here.
Lexa is going to be in that back line trying to harass, get an early pickup, but Zag does it before her and does get Zambam picked off as Husky is going to be jumping out of that back line, trying to get their supports as he does focus down Ringgold. It looks like this point is going to be in the hands of Bob.
Yeah, it looks like Bob getting a nice pick on the exact panda there, getting caught out. It looks like we have the rest of Shamalia Business still fighting around here, but Bob did already take the point, and they are going to stop Shamalia Business here. Really interesting, kind of a weird play there by Shamalia Business with Zambam getting picked out instantly. I'm not sure if they were on the same page or not, but Zambam got picked off instantly with that Discord. But it looks like he's going to recover by getting a nice pick on Ali and Lucio, and that might be what they need to push right in.
Yes, with the Lucio down, they are a man down as Reinhardt does charge in here, but Husky drops in the back line, finishes off Crazy Pants as the Dragon Blade is coming out for Talon as well. He is on Grimlock and he does finish off Weeby as well, but Ringgold with the 4-man res, and that's what they need to push in and take this point.
Yeah, Ringgold with a huge 4-man res, Crazy Pants getting a nice Helix rocket on Tracer. They're slowly but surely pushing right in, but it looks like Bob is still holding on, getting a nice pick on Ringgold, even though he didn't have Mercy or didn't have Res. That's just what they need to hold on to the point, as Shamalia Business is a little bit staggered here onto the point as it gets cleaned up by Bob.
Yeah, even though they had that former Res, Sound Barrier is going to be popped as Crazy Pants is going to be popping that Tac Visor, but Transcendence negates it all as Panda gets a really nice hammer down here with Diva ult going to be coming out as well. Immediately takes out Panda, and the Roadhog ult is coming out as well, and we're going to have a pause here.
And we are going to have a pause. Looks like Oddity is experiencing some ping issues, running up to 700 pings. He is going to restart. He's going to rejoin here. What do you think about this game so far, Kabooks?
It's really interesting. It's really interesting to see how each of these team comps collide, because on one hand, for this point, you have Triple Tank, and on the other hand, you have the flavor of the month, which is Dive. Really interesting to see how each of these comps interact. It's really hard to push in with the Triple Tank if you're not, as a team, pushing in. As we see Husky always jumping in the back line, taking care of those supports, taking out Soldier, which is their main DPS. And with Soldier down, they can easily hold on to this point because Shamalia Business does not have nearly enough damage to finish them off.
Yeah, definitely. They lack the damage, and like you said before, it seems like they're kind of lacking the coordination here. It is just a pickup game tournament, but it looks like Bob is running this dive comp pretty well. And we saw that last week too with when Scouts and Knives is the winner. They pretty much ran the dive comp to the T, executing it pretty well, and as a result, they got the win. And it looks like Bob is doing the same thing here, executing their dive comp pretty well, especially with Lexus on that Tracer, harassing the key players of Shamalia Business, Ringgold on that Mercy, and Grimlock on that Lucio as well. So I would like to see Shamalia Business come back here because they do have the tools to go against this dive comp. They're going to need to focus in here and be a little bit more coordinated when they're pushing in this Triple Tank.
Yeah, as we can see, Shamalia Business, Zarya is close to her Graviton here. She is 72% the way there. So if she can get that Graviton, then she might not have anyone to combo with, but they could group up as a team, push in, focus on that Graviton surge, and take the point back.
It looks like Oddity did come back, and his ping issues have hopefully been resolved. We're going to resume the game here. Oddity back on that Lucio, trying to come right into the game. And it looks like Bob is regrouping anyway, as Zambam does take out Diva with his whole hog.
Looks like Shamalia Business is going to be taking this point. Really good job as they grouped up as a team and they managed to group. It looks like the entire team's back here, as Bob is going to be grouping up, looking to push in a second.
Zambam needs to be really careful here as he gets discorded and gets melted immediately, actually. And it looks like Bob is going to push right in here as Shamalia is down too.
As Talon does pop his Dragon Blade, he gets 2-3 picks. The Mercy also falling to him, and this point immediately goes back to Bob. And what we saw there, Finny, was a really good target management. They saw the threat. They went right after Zambam. They all focused him with the Discord. He was immediately taken out. Then Talon popped his Dragon Blade. He came in. He focused on the supports and the tanks, took them out, and they had the point just like that.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Shamalia Business is still pushing in here as they charge right in, and Bob is pushing them back. The defense protect does come up, and we see a soldier getting caught out here, and a husky chases him down and takes him out. Well, we have trades going on both sides as both teams are about to initiate the fight on the point.
There's the graviton I was talking about before. If they can focus around it, they're going to be taking this point back. Zambam does take out Oddity here. Husky, with his Primal Rage, takes out both tanks. But Ringgold does manage to res Zambam back as he does get a really nice hook on Lexi there. The Tac Visor is also going to be popped for Crazy, but he gets focused really hard by Husky and he gets taken out by Husky.
And Naughtyfly, lone Diva onto the point, getting demeched and doesn't get cleaned up quite yet, but it looks like they are going to. The rest of Shimali Business regroups onto the point, and it is a 4v3 right now. But Husky gets a nice pick on Grimlock, and Zambam does get a pick on Husky, getting a nice hook, and Exec Panda whiffing the Earthshatter a little bit there. And it looks like they're not going to get cleaned up just quite yet, as Bob is still pushing right in and trying to keep the point.
Yes, Lexus is really desperate to hold on to this point here, but it looks like Oddity is going to be falling back and trying to regroup with his team, as they're going to let Shimani Business have it for now.
And Husky had a great Primal Rage there, taking out both tanks and knocking one of them down into the pit, and Ringgold was not able to res him. So that was one reason why they held on to the point for a little bit, but the Shimani Business side did a really good job of getting that as well as Zambam onto that, getting a whole hog on the end there. Great job by Shimali Business for coming back slowly here.
We are going to see Primal Rage popped as well as Sound Barrier popped for Shimani Business. Whole Hog is going to be activated as well as Diva Bomb. The Diva Bomb's not going to get anyone, but Whole Hog does manage to finish off Winston. Night Dog, unfortunately, is going to be falling to his death as Talon does focus down Zambam, taking him out as well. And this point, the picks are going back and forth.
Yeah, the picks are going back and forth, and Bob is still trying to get the point here. They're a little bit staggered, but Shimali Business is holding on really well. And Luxus right there with a nice pick on Ringgold. If he gets another pick, maybe the Tracer Bomb, then he might be able to clean it up here. And it looks like the rest of the Bob is going to clean it up. And Shimali Business is going to forfeit this point to Bob.
Yes, Bob really focusing down the targets as they trickle in. Looks like this point is going to be going to Bob as he is desperately trying to wall-ride his way to victory. He does end up getting taken out here as the Transcendence and the Soundbarrier get popped at the same time. Really questionable choice of ults there as they both burned both support ults. A Talon with that Dragon Blade is going to be focused on Crazy Pants taking him out. Ringgold with that res does res too. Also, the Graviton Surge is going to be being activated as well. It doesn't quite manage to get anyone but Husky on that Primal Rage, just focused on Ringgold taking him out.
It looks like we have a 4v3 going on here as Zambam tries to heal through Lux's damage, but gets a nice couple of headshots, does take him out. It gets actually a nice stick on Wybe, and Lexus does manage to take out both tanks on the side of Bob here. And Shimani Business is still not giving up, and Crazy Pants taking out Husky, and we have 3v2 going on here, but Tracer and Zenyatta is still onto the point. And Lexus takes out yet another tank here as they are just slowly but surely just trickling in, and Bob finally manages to take the ground.
Really well played by either team there. It was really close. They both had 99%, but Bob had that really good target focus, and they were able to pull it out.
And Shimali Business did much better that round as opposed to last round when they were just running this kind of dive, kind of not really dive, versus running that triple tank dive, that triple tank comp there. I would have liked to see if they ran an Ana. Maybe that would have been better for Shimali Business. But this triple tank lineup was working out for them, especially when it came down to that last moment, 99% versus 99%. But it looks like they are going to be switching it up a little bit, just running a 2-2-2 setup with Sombra instead.
And we're going to be seeing Crazy Pants taking Genji instead of Soldier for this one. See how it plays out.
Yeah, I think this Genji is going to do well, especially against Shimali Business here. They're going to be a little bit exposed on Zenyatta and the Lucio side. While they do have Exec Panda to go against Genji, there's not too much, especially with Wybe on that Sombra.
We are going to be seeing Zambam get immediately focused, just like he's been doing, and he immediately gets taken out there as Bob has the advantage, and the point's going to be unlocked, and it's going to be getting contested.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zambam got picked off again a little bit too fast there. Last round when they were running Zarya, it worked out better since Zambam would just push on through, and then if they got a pick, great, but if they didn't, they would be covered by Zarya. But in this case, it's just Zambam, Roadhog all alone essentially. And other than like the Lucio support and the Zenyatta support, they don't have too much in a way of protecting him in case he gets bursted by Discord. So I would like to see Zambam be a little bit more careful here. And then if he does get a pick for his team, then this is going to be great for Shimalio business.
Yeah, they really need to push an as route to allow Shambam not to get really hard focused, as he does finish off Talon with the pick for Shimani with your business. That's what they need, as the Sombra does get popped, negating all the abilities for Bob. Lexus, though, takes out both Crazy Pants and Ringgold with a Pulse Bomb. Lexus is going off right now, takes out Panda and Grimlock, and that's the power of a Tracer.
Yeah, Lexus pretty much brought that fight back to BOB side. Shimano Business got a nice pick on Genji there as Zambam with a nice hook, and he's been doing that this whole game. Sometimes he gets picked off, but sometimes he gets a pick as well. And that pretty much should have been Shimano Business' fight to pick there as they were wrapping around, but Lexus wrapped around Shimano Business backline and got a nice pulse bomb, and they just took him back with those 2 picks.
Definitely. We are going to see Shimani Business push in as the hammer down does come out. But the D-Bomb also comes out as well with the sound barrier for Bob, as they are going to be trying to defend this point. But it looks like Shimani Business is getting all the picks they need to take it back.
Yeah, they got really nice picks. Lexus is still alive, but does get taken out by Wybe, and Shimani Business is going to be cleaning up here. And that was a great initiation by Grimlock and this whole team there. They speed boost right in, and they did what they need to do. They popped Dragon Blade onto the back line, and Bob was a little bit split up there, and they weren't really ready to handle that Dragon Blade. And Oddity could have speed boosted them out, but they were way too spread out, and Crazy Pants just managed to mop them up one by one.
Definitely, and we are going to be seeing Shimani Business having this point. They're going to be approaching about 25% here as Bob starts to push in. Husky looks like he's looking to dive onto the high ground here, or dive onto anyone that's alone to try to take him out. He dives straight in the back line, trying to focus down this Genji, moves to the Sombra as they're trying to wrap around this point.
And Shimani Business is holding a nice core here, still hanging around the shrine and hanging around close enough together so that they don't take it out by BOB's back DPS here. And we have an EMP go off as the fight breaks out in the middle point.
We are going to be seeing a lot of ults being popped here as Crazy Pants does pop his Dragon Blade, gets 2 nice picks on it. Primal Rage is going after Husky, though. He is trying to force Crazy Pants off the point, trying to focus him down as he is going to be trying to pressure. I mean, he does end up taking him out. There are a lot of people on the point at this point. Picks going off for both sides, but it looks like Shimani Business maybe has the advantage here. No, Bob. Looks like Bob is going to be pushing in. They're going to be having the advantage. It looks like they'll be taking this point back.
Yeah, and Zambam getting a nice hook on Lexus, and that's what they need to take the fight back slowly but surely. But looks like we have a side BOB still pushing on through. We have a self-destruct getting popped in the middle here, getting no one to manage to give him space a little bit here, as both teams are still fighting onto the point, and they're not ready to give up the percentage just yet. Keep in mind, though, that Shimali Business is holding on to the point, so they still have that percentage still going up, almost 99% actually. And if BOB loses this fight, they are going to be losing this match. But meanwhile, we have 2 sound barriers coming out, as BOB is slowly but surely taking this fight back as they push both Genji and Sombra off the point with that Winston. And trades going up on both sides, but Shimali Business is still holding on to the point here, and Bob is going to need to come back soon. We have Talon holding on the Dragon Blade at 97% there, as we have Primal Rage going off, taking out both supports, knocking them off to the point, and BOB finally takes the point, but even though it looked like that Shimano was going to take that point.
Yeah, and Husky on that Winston Primal Rage, just going off there, taking 2-3 kills with his Primal Rage, as Shimano Business can't make it to the point in time, and Bob is going to be winning this round as well.
Yep, and it looks like we are going to have Bob advance to the next round here. And Ringo with the nice res. I think this is the 4-man res in one of the maps. But he had a really good res here. But I don't think that they were able to push on through with their comp, as they just got dived on through. So great play by both teams, and congratulations for Bob to advancing to the next round.
Definitely. Even though Rango got a 4-man res, they couldn't quite manage to push it up. But both play really good play on either team. Now we're going to be bringing in Trumu, our producer, to see what his final thoughts are going to be on this matchup.
Let's see. From both the matches, it seemed like whoever can run the dive comp better will win that match or that map, depending on what map it is. Especially on Nepal, since it's more focused on those small points or any control map, those small points that it keep holding. But at the same time, a dive comp can be really good for just going in and trying to distribute distribute the damage all over through all players or focus on one person. But yeah, but from what I saw, the who can run the better dive comp can basically will win that map.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to be having uh, a match between Shamadio Business here and Giant Space Hampers, as they did win their last match 2-0 here.
Definitely. And are we going to be able to get him in? The giant space hamsters, whatever the name is, hamster something. Are we going to be able to get him in here quickly?
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. In the meanwhile, and round 2 is going to be, I believe, your favorite map, Kings Row. On the it's going to be Legion, Kings Row, and one more map. I'll have to pull it up
I
here.
can't wait.
I know you're excited about that.
Oh yeah, you know what happens when we get Kings Row.
But in the meanwhile, we'll be right back. And when both teams are on here, we'll be back online. So we will see you guys shortly.
Welcome back to Overwatch. We're back, guys, and we're going to be having Shimada Your Business up against Giant Space Hamsters on Lijiang Tower.
Yep, and I love Lijiang Tower. Lijiang Tower for me is like your King's Row. I love this map. And last match we saw Shimada Your Business against Bob, and they were doing pretty well when they adapted to like the triple tank lineup, but unfortunately they weren't able to close it out as Bob had really good resources, especially that Tracer's harassing their backline. So look to see them either answer them back against Giant Space Hamsters, or there's going to run a completely different comp here.
We are going to be seeing some familiar faces, definitely on Shimada Your Business. We did cast them before, but we are seeing some familiar faces who were in the last week's Midweek Madness, Zerial and Symmetra here.
Yeah, and not to mention Reindeer as well. He was actually part of the winning team, Scouts and Knives, and he was also playing Winston. So we're going to see if he can contribute the same thing to get them to the winners as well.
And it looks like we are going to be getting underway shortly in about 3 seconds here. And for each team, we're going to be Symmetra is going to be on Symmetra, of course. But for both teams, we're going to be seeing some form of dive.
And Shimada Business is going to be running that Pharah Mercy, but looks like they are going to have some sort of answer here with Zerial on that Soldier. Solius ready to harass that backline onto that Tracer. And we know Crazy Pants gets a nice pick on Reindeer, and Shimada Business is going to push right into this room, but not expecting the Symmetra as they all get zapped. And they got 2 nice picks, and Crazy Pants is still going off, taking out Solios in the back, getting a nice headshot, and Shimada Business has all they need to push right into the point.
Yeah, Crazy Pants was going off there, getting not 1, not 2, but like 4 picks, allowing Shimada Your Business to push in and probably take this point.
And it looks like we have Giant Space Hamsters starting to fight for the points, but Crazy Pants still going off, taking out Deathhood on that Lucio as well. And we have Symmetra trying to come in and zap here, and Crazy Pants shuts her down immediately. And while we do have Winston on Shimada Your Business side still getting harassed, Crazy Pants is still going off, taking out Aziz and Tracer on the Giant Space Hamsters.
It's just crazy how much Crazy Pants is going off here. You just see his name filling the kill feed at the moment as he takes off Reindeer and Deathhood again. It's just unbelievable.
Giant Space Hamsters does have Tactical Visor, however, but not much else here. While Shimada Business is holding on to that Sound Barrier and High Noon as well. And I think Zambam is able to get his ultimate as well. If Crazy Pants is able to get a High Noon on either the left and right side, you can get a lot of space here against Giant Space Hamsters, and Shimada Business might be able to clean them up right there and then. But we're going to see here as Giant Space Hamsters pushes the right room and tries to take the point back.
It looks like Giant Space Hamsters is going to be pushing the white room here, and it looks like Reindeer is looking for someone to drop on, as Solus now on that Tracer is going to be trying to dive back and push in, but Zambam on that Winston immediately pushes him back as Crazy is going to try to take her out, but she does push back with her team, as he is going to be popping High Noon here, probably for clearance.
Yeah, but High Noon does get popped. Wyatt gets a nice boop onto Giant Space Hamsters, but trades are still going back and forth as Giant Space Hamster leaps right in here. Tries to go for the back line, and Crazy Pants does take out Reindeer handily. Crazy Pants is still going off here. They're going to need some sort of answer for him, as Wyatt also gets a nice pick. But meanwhile, Aziz gets a res onto Reindeer, but gets taken out instantly by Crazy Pants. Crazy Pants is still filling up the kill feed, padding his stats here, and looks like Shimada Business is going to be holding this point for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's really good play by Crazy Pants there. He focused down the correct targets and took them out quickly and concisively, as Giant Space Hamsters really has no answer for him, as they just keep getting taken out one after another. They're going to need to regroup and focus down Crazy Pants.
Well, the one thing to note here is Symmetra on Giant Space Hamsters did put down that shield generator, so Giant Space Hamsters is going to have a little bit of an easier time pushing into this choke.
As the Diva Bomb does come out, Solo's in the backline. Weeby with that far rocket barrage gets 3. Really nice play by Weeby. They're completely shutting down Giant Space Hamsters' push.
Yeah, great play there. Giant Space Hamsters was tucked nicely in that white room, but they did not see that Farah was wrapping around them, ready for a rocket barrage. So great job there by Weeby for recognizing that and getting a nice triple kill.
And we are going to be seeing round 1 going to Shimada Your Business.
And it looks like we have next map here about to come through. I'm not sure if the Symmetra is working out for Giant Space Hamsters. They did swap, or they get that shield generator down, but it wasn't quite enough to push through the choke. And it looks like Symmetra is going to be swapping on that Winston. I think they're going to have a little bit better time here running this sort of dive comp with Winston and D.Va and Tracer.
Yes, definitely. We are seeing almost identical team comps coming out from either side, with a few alterations for each team. As the point's going to be locking in 30 seconds, we're going to be seeing where the teams are going to be going. It looks like they're both taking high ground, with Giant Space Hamsters going around into the server room to try to trap Shimada Yo Business, as Death Hood immediately takes out Zambam.
And Giant Space Hamsters is still holding on to the server room really well, and Shimada Yo Business can't really handle it. But however, they are going to take the fight up here, and Far Mercy really shines here, so look to see Vibe and Ringgold do some work on this point.
We are going to be seeing Giant Space Hamsters not letting up as they push on to point. They are contesting it. Picks are going in for their favor. Azuriel does finish off Grimlock, who is on Lucio. Zuriel also finishing off Panda. Looks like this point's going to be going to Giant Space Hamsters.
The Shimada Yo Business there really didn't want to take that fight in the middle because they have Far Mercy, and Far Mercy doesn't work too well in that little corner there. And Giant Space Hamsters just has all the tools they need to shut down Shimada Yo Business. If they fought onto the point a little bit sooner, then I think they would have had a really good chance on that Far Mercy.
Definitely, but they pushed in a little too far. Now Shimada Yo Business is going to be pushing in and probably taking this point because they have the picks. Crazy Pants is going to be activating his High Noon, gets the Mercy, who's trying to run away, and this point is going to be in the hands of Shimada Yo Business as Primal Rage does get popped as Giant Space Hamsters is desperate to contest, but all the picks are going for Shimada Yo Business.
Yeah, Shimada and Giant Space Hamsters here is just trying to hold on a little bit longer, popping that Primal Rage on Symmetra. Well, they are a little bit staggered. Zuriel does get a pick on Zambam, but Sound Barrier does cover all of Shimada Yo Business, and they are still trying to contest the point, but Giant Space Hamster still has the point, as Aziz does manage to res 2. Meanwhile, up top, we have Vibe taking out Zuriel on that Soldier, and D.Va as well, and Vibe is still going off as he takes out Tracer. Nice triple kill there from Vibe, and Shimada Yo Business is looking like they're going to take this point here as they clean up both Lucio and soon-to-be Winston as well.
Definitely, and we saw Vibe going off on that bar because Zero wasn't really focusing her. She was basically going uncontested as she focused down Zero with that rocket barrage, immediately taking him out. And then with him gone, she basically had free reign to do whatever she wanted.
Also, Giant Space Hamsters did a good job of stalling there. When Symmetra popped Primal Rage, it looked like their team decided that they were going to stall out since they still had the point. So even though Shimada Yo Business did win that fight, Giant Space Hamsters did get nice percentage, and they're about to have their ults pretty soon here as well.
Azuriel gets a nice clean kill on Weeby. We're going to be seeing Primal Rage pop out for Shimada Yo Business. Azuriel is taking the high ground, using it to his advantage, focusing down a Panda who does get popped out of his mech. The picks are going in favor for Giant Space Hamsters as Symmetra just pop onto Panda, finishing him off as well.
Giant Space Hamsters is securing that high ground as well as Zuriel takes that top server room, raining down death right here on that Soldier. And Shimada Yo Business don't really have an answer to it. They do have Farah right now, but it looks like she's also getting shot down and gets finished off by Reindeer as well.
It looks like Grimlock is going to be trying to contest with that Lucio. Crazy Pants with that High Noon, but immediately gets blocked by the D.Va Defense Matrix on Reindeer. Both of them are trying to contest at this point as the Sound Barrier does get popped for Shimada Yo Business as well as Giant Space Hamsters. As they're both contesting, Tactical Advisor is going to be popped for Zuriel as it gets 1, 2, 3 picks, and this point is in the hands, 4 picks, and this point is definitely in the hands of Giant Space Hamsters.
Yeah, great job there by Zuriel for taking those 4 picks out and taking the point. Crazy Pants with the questionable High Noon there. He was kind of high nooning on his own. He took out D.Va mech, but he died on his own, and they got really staggered there towards the end. And they really needed Crazy Pants on that front line to take care of Winston and Soldier as well. So I'll look to see Shimada Yo Business regrouping here.
And we are going to be seeing the point get closer and closer to 100% for Giant Space Hamsters as the picks are going off for them. D.Va ult is going to be popped for Shimada Yo Business. Doesn't quite manage to get any picks. Weeby with that rocket barrage. Joe's focused on Zuriel, taking out the only person who can take her out right now, but immediately Solas takes her out. As Symmetra is on Grimlock, focusing down him as well, as the Riz does come out from Ringgold, raising them both back up. Crazy Bam's trying to contest, but it gets taken out as well. This point is being contested back and forth.
Yeah, Shibaya Business is slowly coming in here. They have really mobile heroes to stall, but it looks like Death Hood does pop the sound barrier. It's gonna stop Giant Space Hamsters from getting picked off here and there. Self-destruct does block off the entry to Shibaya Business, and it looks like it's gonna be the two Winston and Lucio only on the point, and they just won't die right here. As Crazy Pants did switch on the Tracer, and he's trying to get the backline right here. And Wide gets a nice pick on Tracer, and Zambam gets a nice pick on Aziz as well. And look, Shibaya Business is taking this point back as they trickle in slowly, but they're making it work right here as they pick all their mobile heroes of Tracer and Winston. And Crazy Pants also taking out D.Va as well, and they managed to pull it off and taking the point back.
Really good play by Shimano Business. They went complete stall tactics there. Crazy Pants, who was on McCree, immediately went to Tracer. They Panda went on to that D.Va. They charged in. They really wanted to hold that point, and it worked out well for them. They managed to take it back as they are now approaching 100%. As Giant Space Hamsters, it really has to contest here as it almost approaches it. The Pulse Bomb does come out from Crazy Pants. Azuriel with that attack visor focusing down Crazy Pants and Panda. The picks are in for Giant Space Hamsters right now.
And Zuriel did not get answered, and he got free reign on that tactical visor. We have Wibe still onto the high ground, still trying to make something happen. Almost as Rocket Barrage, but won't really get too much done as she gets taken out really fast by Zuriel. And Exec Panda does get a nice pick on Winston. Giant Space Hamster is looking like they're going to hold this right now. But Shimano Business is still trickling in. They might pull it off again. Still running Tracer and still running Winston, so they might be able to get on the point as soon as possible here. And it looks like they might, as Giant Space Hamsters does take out D.Va and Winston. Shimano Business might be able to trickle in here and get one more push.
Yeah, but all the picks are going in for Giant Space Hamster at this point. But Crazy Pants does manage to Pulse Bomb Solas, taking him out. The Rocket Barrage is going to come out from far, but immediately gets taken out, blocked by D.Va's Defense Matrix. As this point looks like it's going in the hands, or they're trying to get it in the hands of Giant Space Hamsters. But Shimano Business's tactics are just stalling. They switched to all the heroes that can possibly stall, and they're all flying in here. Ringgold with the two-man res. The attack visor is popped out from Zero. He wants to finish his heroes here and now, as Ringgear with that D.Va bomb does take out Panda's mech.
Yeah, however, Giant Space Hamsters is slowly but surely running out of resources here. Crazy Pants almost has a Tracer Bomb, and they might be able to take this back, but not just quite yet. Giant Space Hamster gets a nice two-man res, and they're coming back, getting the two picks as well. But Shimano Business is still getting slowly picked out here, and Giant Space Hamsters, despite running out of ults, is taking it back. However, we do have Lucio and Tracer being pesky onto the point, still keeping it alive, and Shimano Business might be able to come back here with that D.Va Mercy. But with Tracer left onto the point, Giant Space Hamsters looks like they're about to take this finally at the end of overtime.
That was a really long overtime there. They both had comps that made it really easy to hop onto the point from spawn because they all had characters that had really fast mobility, and so it really made it drawn out. And but in the end, Golden Space Hamster did end up taking it.
And Shimano Business was actually doing a good job of letting Giant Space Hamsters use their resources. And the last point when they took it back on overtime, Giant Space Hamsters just ran out of ults and ran out of resources for them to hold on to the point. But the second time, Giant Space Hamsters managed to clean it out by taking out key picks as they trickled in. So good job there by Giant Space Hamsters holding on, despite the fact that they didn't really have too many ults or too many resources to hold it down.
Definitely, and we are going to be seeing around the same team comps coming out for both teams, as Symmetra is going to be diving in straight on to Shimano Business as they're going to be trying to take this point here.
Yeah, looking like a mirror here, but Ringgold does get taken out. That's a big pick, as that Fire and Mercy combo is pretty integral to their comp right now. And Giant Space Hamsters is just cleaning up, but meanwhile Wibe is still in the back, taking out Soldier as well. No one is on the point, so no one's actually capping it right now, as both teams are just trying to DM it out. But it looks like we have Solius on the Tracer finally onto the point, but does get cleaned out by Shimano Business. And Shimano Business is looking nice cozy here onto the point as they try to fight Lucio and D.Va.
Crazy Pants does use his pulse bomb to take D.Va out of her mech. Looks like the picks are going back and forth here. I'm not too sure who's going to be able to take it, but looks like Shimano Business is having the strength to hold on to this point. Looks like they're going to be taking it here.
And it was really interesting by Giant Space Hamsters because they got a really nice pick on Ringgold, and that Fire Mercy is far less effective, especially Zerial on that soldier who just take out a lone Pharah instantly. So I would have liked them to just push onto the point the moment they got that pick, but they stuck around a little bit too long, trying to like DM them in the middle, trying to take them all out, and when they could have just got on the point and forced the fight without the Mercy, but they managed to let the slip out of their hands, and Shimano Business managed to take the point.
Looks like Symmetra is dropping into the backline here. He does manage to pop Primal Rage as Zero does manage to finish off Ringgold as well with their Mercy down. They could be, looks like Shimano Business could be in trouble here as Zero does also finish off Crazy Pants. The Rocket Rush does come out from Weeby though. Does take out the Mercy for Giant Space Hamsters. At this point, looks like it's going back and forth between Shimano Business and Giant Space Hamsters as the Primal Rage does get topped out from Zambam, finishing off Death Hood and Symmetra. At this point, looks like it's going to be staying for Shimano Business.
And Giant Space Hamsters didn't really have a clean engage there. Death Hood speed boosted them in, but Shimano Business was able to punish them since they weren't all together. And Wive and Crazy Pants just, took them out as they came in. And Giant Space Hamsters was came in together there, it would have been a lot cleaner, and I think they would have been able to take the point with all their ults. But Shimano Business managed to just pick them in as they come in.
Definitely, and we are going to be seeing this point approaching 100% here. It's around 70% right now for Shimano Business as the Sunbreaker comes out for Giant Space Hamsters here. As Grimlock does focus down Symmetra, D.Va is going to be coming out as well. Only gets D.Va out of her mech as the... Looks like the picks are going back and forth right now.
And Shimano Business does manage to push him out, but meanwhile Zuriel with the Tactical Advisor, see if he can get Mercy here, but it gets taken out instantly with Crazy Pants, and Aziz does get a one-man res. Zuriel does get picked up, but it gets taken down again instantly. Crazy Pants with a Pulse Bomb, but Solius answering back with his own Pulse Bomb, and that managed to let Giant Space Hamsters onto the point, so we have both teams onto the point fighting for it. But Crazy Pants running around here, still trying to take out their backline, does manage to take out Death Hood finally. The Giant Space Hamsters are going to have a hard time without their Lucio. Self-destruct does get popped, but that's covered by Bubble, and does get D-Mech back up. But the Shimano Business is still holding on to the point as Giant Space Hamster gets pushed out, and almost losing the overtime here as Zero hops on it, but that's not going to be enough as Shimano Business takes the round.
Really good play by Shimano Business there. They went immediately straight to point and they held it for the entire time. They did not allow Golden Hamsters to take it, Golden Space Hamsters to take it back because they held on to that point really tightly, and they focused on the correct targets as they came in. When Symmetra jumped onto the point using Winston, they focused him hard and they immediately took him out. And with Winston down, their initiation basically gone, Giant Space Hamsters couldn't stay onto the point and contest, and Shimano Business, using their Winston, dived onto their backline and basically crushed them.
And speaking of backline, Wild did a really good job of forcing Aziz on that Mercy to get a one-man res off, and he one-man res Zuriel there without Tactical Advisor and gets shot down again by Crazy Pants. So great job by forcing Aziz to pop that res prematurely, and Giant Space Hamsters really didn't have the ults to push on through there, and they just got wiped out. So meanwhile, it looks like we are going to have Giant Space Hamsters push right in here, and Shimano Business taking the point, but Zuriel does get a nice pick on Wibe really fast. It's going to be a little bit hard for Shimano Business to push it.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing a change for Giant Space Hamsters Death Hood going on that Reaper to try to answer Zambam probably, as Zambam is going to end up getting taken out by him, and both picks are going back and forth for each team, but it looks like Giant Space Hamsters has the advantage here.
And Zuriel getting a pick on Crazy Pants, and like you said before, Giant Space Hamsters is holding on to the advantage. Death Hood almost to that Death Blossom, so if things go right, you can always pop it onto the point before Shimano Business off of it. But we do have that defense matrix, so look to see him get blocked here as Death Blossom does go off, taking out Grimlock and D.Va, and Death Hood getting a nice double kill. And we have Primal Rage onto the point, but Death Hood taking quick work of it. Reaper showing why is to counter the Winston, and Giant Space Hamsters is going to take that point.
Yes, that Reaper pick was really, really crucial because it just completely counters Winston. I mean, Winston can work around Reaper, but it's extremely hard. And once that Reaper starts focusing down the Winston, focusing down the other characters, and you don't focus down Reaper, it's almost impossible to stop that incoming damage.
And if Zambam is going to keep running this Winston, it's going to be careful here, as they're always relying on Zambam to initiate. So if it gets picked up early, it's going to be really hard for Shimalia Business to fight.
As a Somber ult does come out, as well as the Crazy Pants does use his Pulse Bomb as well. The picks are in hand for Shimadio Business, but Symmetra is jumping on Zambam, finishing him off. But Weeby on the Somber going off, gets 2 picks, but they immediately get res with the debuff coming out, not getting anyone, but Weeby doesn't really care. He just comes in, takes out Zuriel as well. Picks are both coming for both teams as this point is being contested.
And it looks like we have Zambam still trying to zap Reaper here, but Robin Hood Deathhood does manage to Death Wraith out, and he doesn't get picked up by Zambam. They don't have a counter to this Winston anymore. As Giant Space Hamsters pop Sound Barrier, they are looking to secure this point as Tactical Advisor does get popped, but EMP gets countered against them, but it's too late as Tactical Advisor is deployed. But Ringo with a huge 4-man res, and with 2 ults down on Giant Space Hamster's side, Shimalia Business has a fighting chance here as they are trying to get their backline. Aziz is all alone and Zambam is trying to rush him out. So it looks like we have Reaper coming in here. Doesn't get anyone, but does manage to force Shimalia Business off to the point. And Grimlock gets a nice pick on Lucio in the backline. There's that Lucio action there. And Giant Space Hamsters is having a really hard time here as Shimalia Business is taking the fight back to them.
Really well played by Shimadio Business. They're really desperate to hold on to this point as it's approaching 100%. Crazy Pants doing work on that Tracer, taking out Zuriel. Panda also taking out Symmetra. And with both their main tank and their main DPS down, Shimadio Business is going to be taking this point.
During the first half of the fight there, Solius actually got picked off really early when he almost got Sound Barrier, and Giant Space Hamsters wasn't able to push against them, but Deathloop gets a nice pick on Crazy Pants. It looks like they're looking to push off Giant Business off at this point.
Panda with that really nice Diva ult there, taking out both teammates for Giant Space Hamsters, but they immediately get res by Mercy as the point is approaching around 30% here. All the picks are going in for Giant Space Hamsters, however, with Reaper doing work, Zuriel using that Tac Monster to finish up any stragglers. Looks like this point's going to be going to Giant Space Hamsters as well as the 3rd round.
And Giant Space Hamsters did a great job there just cleaning them up. They knew that Shimalia Business didn't have the ult to handle them under the point, especially the fight before that. They ran out of resources really early since Lucio got picked off, and they couldn't take the point earlier, but Giant Space Hamsters managed to come back, not get staggered, and take the point back with their ult advantage. So great job there by Giant Space Hamsters for pushing in as a team.
They're really good for Giant Space Hamsters there. It looks like it was all lost. Shimadio Business were having the point, but they took it back. They formed up as a team, and they worked really hard to focus on the correct targets, allowing them to take that back the point, and eventually the round.
And Shimadia Business is still opting to run Winston on Zambam, even though they know that Deathloop could be running Reaper here. But so far it's not working out for them. They're just doing the same thing. Zambam initiating it, and Shimadia Business following on through. And doesn't look like they're too scared of this Reaper here. But I'm wondering to see if Reaper's going to be more effective in this close quarter. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit, as Deathloop gets a nice pick on Zambam. And it's going to start off the fight really well for Giant Space Hamsters.
Deathhood going off, getting about 3 picks in the kill feed there. And with those picks, it allows Giant Space Hamsters to basically take this point here, as Lucio and Crazy Pants desperate to contest this, as the rest of the team is starting to push in here. They do have that momentum here, and it looks like they're going to be taking this point back from Giant Space Hamsters here.
And Symmetra gets stuck by a Pulse Bomb as he was trying to leap away and gets knocked out. Wipe taking out both, and Wrinkle getting a nice little Battle Mercy action, taking out Solius as well. The Shimadio Business is going to take this point back. That was a really interesting play, because I thought Giant Space Hamsters really had that in the back, but Deathhood just kind of walked in and took out both tanks handily. But Shimadio Business managed to come on through, taking out, I think, Ringgold immediately, and that's what they needed to push on through.
Yeah, Grimlock did a really good job contesting there. He and Crazy Pants held it for their team just so Zanbim could get back with this reinforcements, and the cavalry did arrive there, and they ended up taking the point back.
And look at Giant Space Hamster is wrapping around as Tactical Advisor gets deployed on Zuriel, pushing on through with his front line. Primal Rage does get popped, trying to dive in the back line and cleaning up Shimalio business here as Giant Space Hamster rotates onto the point immediately and just wrecks Shimalio business.
And Zuriel doing work with that tac visor. He focused down the correct targets and immediately took him out. Symmetra unfortunately went a little too deep, and he does get picked off, and that could be what Shimada Yo Business needs to push in and take this point. As they do activate Sound Barrier, looks like they're diving and committing full on to this push, as the Sound Barrier also pops for Giant Space Hamsters. As the Rocket Barrage does also get popped by Weeby, he does manage to take out Death Hood. Zambam on that Winston also takes out somebody, as the Devo is going to get bopped. It doesn't take anyone out, however, as a fight is going to be breaking out on point.
And both teams still have res, so if they need to reset the fight, they will. But Shimalio Business is taking them out handily, and Aziz still holding up that res. He might get a 3-man res here, diving on in. But Aziz does manage to come in. does get that 3-man res. But Shimalio Business is ready for it as Crazy Pants takes out Diva and Wibe takes out Aziz. Crazy Pants still has that Tracer Bomb, so look for him to stick it onto one of these tanks here. As Giant Space Systems tries to fight onto the point, Deathwood walks in and gets immediately taken out by Grimlock. And Shimalio Business is going to be capping the point, and Symmetra is going to be stalling for a little bit. But ultimately, Shimalio Business is going to be holding on to the point.
Definitely. Shimada Yo Business did a really good job of pushing in. Symmetra, immediately when Symmetra was taken out, they knew they had the advantage. They jumped straight into the point, no hesitation, focusing down the right targets, as I've been saying numerous times, and they took back this point.
Space Hamster is trying to push out here. As Death Blossom does get popped, taking out both backline, and Giant Space Hamster with a huge Death Blossom there as they push on to the point. Shimalio Business is trying to stall for as long as possible, but Giant Space Hamster is going to roll on through on the back of those 2 support kills as Crazy Pants is onto the point, trying to dash around, trying to stall a little bit. Does finally get taken out by Zuriel, and Giant Space Hamster is going to be taking this point as soon as they clean up this Lucio here.
And they do end up taking out Lucio. Lucio really desperately tried to use his sound barrier on himself to try to stay alive, but he did end up getting taken out. Weeby with a questionable far ult all by himself just gets immediately eaten up by the Diva defense measures. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. Yeah,
and Shimalio Business is going to have to regroup here. Them getting picked out in the first fight wasn't too bad, since they still had the ults from the last fight, but getting staggered there and using their ults a little bit uncoordinated there is going to cost them a few percentage here, as they're going to have to regroup and build those ults up once again before they take one more fight.
Definitely, and the point is going to be getting closer and closer to 100, as Symmetra was in there. Immediately takes out Ringgold. Picks are going off for both teams. Zuriel with that tag visor, focusing down targets, getting both Grimlock and Crazy Pants, and this point's going to be going in the hands of Giant Space Hamsters, and it looks like they're going to be winning this first game.
Good job there by Giant Space Hamsters. Shimalio Business really couldn't afford to lose Ringgold there at the end, as they pretty much had only one more push before they came in, but at 90%. But with that pick on Ringgold, Giant Space Hamsters managed to, stay on the point and camp on it, and Shimalio Business can't really push them without their main healer, and as a result, Giant Space Hamsters just took it all. So great job by them for getting a nice pick on Ringgold.
Really good job by both teams there. It was really, really even match, especially you could see it on that last round. They were going back and forth, back and forth. Really good job for both teams.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like our next map is going to be... let me see here. I already forgot. Do you know what the next map is off the top of your head?
I'm not too sure. I think it was King's Row.
I think King's Row is the last map. Sorry to disappoint you. I know you want to see King's Row as fast as possible, but King's Row, I know for sure, is the 3rd map.
I actually thought it was the 2nd map. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that was your hopes, thinking that it was gonna be the 2nd map.
My brain was trying to trick me.
And it looks like they are going to be having a little bit of a break here from both teams, just getting a quick drink. But in the meanwhile, we're going to bring in our producer Trumu here. Trumu, what do you think about that last match there on Lijiao?
Lijiang Tower is actually one of my favorite maps, but from both teams, they did really well with Winston, Symmetra, and Zambam with the Winston. But it looks like I forgot his name. I think it was Death Hood on that Reaper trying to counter the D.Va, and Winston did actually really well in winning them. But from on the first point on Lijiang, Crazy Pants actually went off, and I wasn't expecting that because like it's just unusual to see a McCree on that first point and going off at the same time, but it was something new to see. And at the same time, Ringgold was Mercy, I think. Who was he?
Yep, that's correct.
Mercy getting good reses throughout the whole game, helping his team. But with giant space hamsters, the Symmetra on the Winston was decent, but could use a little bit of work. But throughout, everyone did really well.
Yeah, one thing to note there with Giant Space Hamster side, they really had their ults down when they would group up and they would just push in as a team with their groups. Especially like Zuriel on that tactical advisor would always lead the charge, or he'd be in the flank as well, deploying tactical advisor in the back, getting 2 picks. So great job there for Giant Space Hamsters coordinating their ults. Shmalia Business was having a little bit of trouble coordinating their ults as well as like when they stagger and then when they come together when they push. So hopefully they're able to fix that for the next match and push on through against Giant Space Hamsters. And looks like the next map is going to be Route 66 here. I should have checked the pin messages, but that is going to be our next map. I'm interested to see how it's going to go for Giant Space Hamsters because they're running a pretty good dive comp. So I'm going to see if they're able to push on through here on the offense side, especially getting that big Earl defense is going to be pretty interesting to see if they're going to run that Winston or not. But Shimon, your business side, I think Zambam's going to be running that Winston as well. So I think they're going to have a pretty good time on offense if they do run the same thing they've been doing the past 2 games on the King of the Hill maps. And with that, we're going to have a short little break here. We'll be right back before the match starts, but we're just going to have a short little break as both teams are getting drinks and using the bathroom or whatnot. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Midweek Madness. We're going to have some Shimalio business here going up against Giant Space Hamsters on Route 66. If you're just tuning in, last match, it was on Lijiang Tower, and Giant Space Hamsters did take it, so they're 1-0 right now. If they do manage to take it again here on Route 66, they are going to be moving on. But if they do lose against Shimalio business, we are going to go to Kabux's favorite map, which is King's Row. And looks like we're about to start off the match soon here. Like I talked about before, we're going to see how each team handles their variation of a dive comp, whether it be running Fire Mercy or just running straight Winston and Tracer and Genji. Especially on the offense side, if they're going to go against that big Earl defense, then whoever has the better dive comp is going to have a much better advantage taking the offense side here.
Definitely. And as we see the teams come out for each side, we're going to be seeing Reindeer on that Reinhardt. It looks like they're going to be going for a more solid defense, more of a death ball, as Death Hood is also going to be running that Roadhog. So it's interesting pick on that Hanzo, and also Symmetra on that Junkrat. And let's see how it comes out for that team.
And I really actually like this better in Shimalio business side, since it seems like their strengths are not really around that running that dive comp with Zambam coming in, as they're a little bit not on the same page when they run that comp. But so I really like to see this Reinhardt and this Fire Mercy. It's more solid and also gives Crazy Pants on that McCree more space to do what he needs to do. And if Crazy Pants does manage to go off like he did in Lijiang Tower the first point, and the Fire Mercy combo can really shine here, then I think Shimalio Business is going to have a really good time against Giant Space Hamster's offense.
Yes, I definitely feel like if you run a McCree, you really need to run a Reinhardt, because McCree doesn't really have a lot of evading ability. He can't really get away from damage. He only has that dodge roll, and that isn't really enough to like get him away from anything that's attacking him. So he really needs a shield he can stand behind to get some really nice picks off.
Speaking of picks, it looks like we're going to be running a Hanzo on Giant Space Hamsters as well as Torbjorn on Symmetra. I know, a little bit confusing. It looks like Symmetra is going to be around here, placing the turret. And if they did what they did last week, it looks like we're going to have Giant Space Hamsters push on through on Big Earl as the turret gets pushed in. But if it does get shut down immediately by Wide, and it looks like they're going to push on through the standard way here.
Let's see if that Torbjorn pick plays off, as Symmetra does manage to take Panda out of his mech, but Grimlock is on that turret and immediately taking it out. Looks like they are going to be dropping. They're really going to have to drop onto point eventually to try to start contesting here.
And Shimalio Business didn't really contest from that Big Earl there. They kind of just let them take that corridor, and Wybe does manage to take out Torb, so they are going to be coming in here to try to stop the point. But Solius gets a nice pick on Ringgold, and Shimalio Business is a little disadvantage here, lost their main healer, but Zambam takes the trade right back, taking Aziz out as well, and Giant Space Hamsters is going to be take the point off the back of those two support picks.
Definitely, and we didn't really see a Shimalio Business really contest them at all, as they were getting taken out one by one, and it looks Giant Space Hamsters had a clean ride to the first point there.
Yeah, Solius gets a nice pick on the Exec Panda, and this is going to even help their steamroll even more. They are holding on to Dragon Blade and Tactical Visor in offense ults, but it looks like we have both tanks having their ults online as well, so it's going to be a little bit harder for Shimalio Business to push on through here, as they got rolled really fast that first hit. But Deathwood with a nice hook on Crazy Pants, getting him. I thought Hook 2.0 would stop that, but it looks like no, as Crazy Pants just gets hooked on through. Getting a nice 3-man Earth Shatter as the Ranger gets a charge on Ringgold, and he's going to get taken down. That's huge because he has the res. Dragon Blade does go out, and Scatter Arrow does take out Zambam in the back here, and it's going to be really hard for Shimalio Business to come back in this fight.
Definitely, and we have an interesting strategy coming out from Symmetra. He's not really building up his turrets. All he's doing is putting down like a level 1 turret in the back line, and then allowing it to do some small damage. And really interesting strategy coming out from Symmetra, but it seems to be working as they're approaching the second point here. Zambam is all by himself because Deathhound is on that Roadhog, using the Roadhog ult to push him back here, as it looks like they're going to be taking the second point.
They're trying to push through the tunnels here, but we have Molten Core on Symmetra pushing them back into the corner, but Wybe does manage to get a nice rocket barrage, taking out both Hog and Soldier. And Shimada Business is trying to take it back here, but Aziz reses both. A little bit questionable as the spawn is right there. But it looks like it doesn't matter too much, as Giant Space Hunters does manage to clean out the rest of Shimada Business and move on through this gate here.
Yes, and they are going to be pushing around this corner because they took out Shimada Business, so they're going to be having a clean run, probably through this first corridor here.
And Giant Space Hamsters is going to be picking that high ground. We have this cheeky little turret on the platform, and it looks like it does get taken out instantly by Wibe, who did switch on that Sombra. And it's going to be really interesting to see what Wibe can do on this Sombra here. It's really good to hack health packs and take it, as Wibe is on the back, so taking out the back line, but does TP away. Exact Panda does pop self-destruct take, only takes out the turret though, as Giant Space Hamsters is still looking good, pushing on through, still has the high ground. But look to see Zerial in the back with Soldier harassing the back line, and Shimada Business is going to have to get him off that truck here if they are going to defend the point.
Yes, and they are pushing in here as the Hanzo does come out, taking out Crazy Pants and Panda's Mac. Ringo with that 2-man res, does res 2. Death Hood with that whole hog there, does pressure Reinhardt into the back. They do have the momentum here, and all the picks are going in favor of Giant Space Hamsters, as they are going to be pushing in this point for the third and final point here.
And Death Hood was ready for that res in the back, taking out 2, and it looks like we have Earthshatter does come out, stopping the rest of Shimada Business to defend, and Giant Space Hamsters is going to take the point. Really great job there by Giant Space Hamsters, pretty much steamrolling their way through and using their ult advantage throughout the map to take the checkpoints, especially at the end there, when they came in and took the high ground in the back. Shimada Business really didn't have any answers for it, as they didn't have the heroes to handle it, also didn't really have the ults to defend against the harassment from Zuriel on the back line there. It's a really great job for Giant Space Hamsters for doing really well and using their advantage on the ult economy side. Definitely,
and we're going to be seeing Symmetra switching off Torbjorn. Oh, he's going to be going back on Torbjorn. Symmetra is going to be playing Torbjorn for defense as well. We are going to be seeing changes coming out for Shimada Business as well, with Zambud on that Winston.
We have a little cheeky thing in chat here, as they think they're going to run defense Symmetra. Little do they know, it's actually Torbjorn, or Symmetra on Torbjorn. That's still confusing for me. I think Torbjorn's going to be really good here, especially when they're going to have this Reinhardt as well, as that turret is going to be alive and well and just holding on against Shimada Business. We're also going to have Death Hood on that Roadhog, and I really like Roadhog on defense here, especially if you're going to run this big ult defense. It's really easy to get hooks once they get close to the gas station, and once you contest, it's really easy to just pick on the back line and just, he's pretty much going fishing at that point. So look to see Death Hood get some nice picks for his team and stopping Shimada Business offense.
Definitely, and looks like we're going to be having Crazy Pants on that Tracer, and I can't wait to see what he does. It's going to be really interesting to see what he's going to be able to do with Tracer on attack here. We are going to be seeing the turret being deployed here next to the corner. Interesting position here, definitely.
They are going to have D.Va and Winston on Shimada Business side to cover that turret and those hooks while they have Far Mercy come in and do the damage. So I think Giant Space Hamsters, while they do have a nice position here, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to hold it with the comp that Shimada Business is running. But we have the Torbjorn turret on the side, and Crazy Pants takes it out instantly, and we have Winston on Zambam on Big Earl just trying to wipe them out. But unfortunately, Giant Space Hamsters does manage to get those 2 picks out, and Shimada Business is going to be slowed down here.
Yes, looks like Shimada Business is going to be taken out here, and Giant Space Hamsters is going to be holding onto this corner as they force Shimada Business to back up and group up.
Shimada Business is going to have to group up here, a little bit staggered. They lose a little bit of time here, as well as some ult charge on Giant Space Hamsters, and looks like they're going to regain Big Earl defense once more. Symmetra on Torbjorn is going to be placing that turret on the right tunnel again. Look to see if it gets picked off or not, but looks like Death Hood is there ready to defend against it if Crazy Pants on Tracer does want to try to get rid of it.
Definitely, and we're going to be seeing Shimano Business pressuring the cart, trying to contest, but Zero again takes out Crazy Pants, and we are going to be seeing Molten Core come out from Symmetra. A weird thing to say, I'm sure, as Solus does get a nice pick there, and all the picks are going in for Giant Space Hamsters, and they're going to be holding this corner yet again.
And Deathwood was holding on to that high ground really well, especially against Mercy. Mercy was getting harassed constantly, and Shimano Business was just way too busy taking care of that, and they didn't really have enough people on the cart, so they're a little bit split up there, and Giant Space Hamsters just managed to punish them for that. And it looks like they are going to be having Whole Hog once more, and they're also holding on the Earth Shatter. So Giant Space Hamsters is holding nice and pretty here with that ult advantage. But look to see Shimano Business come on in and try to contest Big Earl.
Zambam is going to really want to bully him off that gas station high ground, trying to take the advantage for his team. But the picks are going in for Giant Space Hamsters here. But they're going back and forth, really. But this Giant Space Hamster still has the high ground and the man advantage here, as the hammer down does come out from Reindeer. Doesn't quite manage to get anyone. Unfortunate, as Zero does pop his tac visor, cleaning up the rest of Shimano Business. But they immediately get res by Ringold here, double man res here, as they keep trying to push in contesting, but without their tanks to support them. Looks like Giant Space Hamster is going to be holding on to this corner.
Yeah, but however, Shimano Business does get a nice 2 picks there. That 2 res allowed them just enough time to push on through, but Deathwood does get picked on Ringold. And Shimano Business is coming back slowly but surely as they get a nice pick on Solius. Wide pops Rocket Barrage, takes out Deathhold on that Roadhog, and Shimano Business does manage to take it. Ringold with the nice 2-man res to give Shimano Business enough time, but Aziz reses Symmetra and Reinhardt once more, and Giant Space Hamsters is going to be contesting again. Tracer Bomb gets a nice pick on Symmetra. Crazy Pants still going off, taking out 2 on the side of Giant Space Hamsters, and Shimano Business is still pushing on through, despite the fact that Giant Space Hamsters had the ult advantage there. And while Crazy Pants does get hooked, I think Shimano Business is going to clean up the rest of Giant Space Hamsters, or at the very least push them back to take this first checkpoint.
And they are going to be taking this first checkpoint here. Really well played by Shimano Business, as they able to sandwich Giant Space Hamsters, who thought they had it in the bag, but Shimano Business did come up as the underdogs and end up taking the first point here.
Shimano Business is still pushing on through, and I think they kind of figured out how to handle Torbjorn here. I think they realized that they have the resources with D.Va and Far Mercy and Winston to handle that turret and just handle that Torbjorn as a whole. So if they keep this up, then I think they'll be able to go against Giant Space Hamsters and keep getting the ult advantage, keep getting the man advantage here. But Wyatt does get taken out by Zuriel with that Helix Rocket. He's got slowed down a little bit.
The D.Va Bomb is going to be going off for the side of Shimano Business, as well as the Pulse Bomb. Both don't get any picks, but with Deathhood with a really nice hook on Tracer does manage to take him out, as it looks like Giant Space Hammers is going to be holding on to this point, as the Sound Barrier saves Ringold's life from that hammer down there via Reindeer, and it looks like this point's going to be held for Giant Space Hamsters as they're stopping the momentum from Shimano Business.
A notable pick here, and it looks like Giant Space really gets a nice 2-man res on Ana and Torbjorn, but I don't think it's going to be enough to hold on to the Shimano Business, but they are pushing them back. But Crazy Pants does get a nice pick on Roadhog here, and they are still contesting onto the point. That 2-man res might have been for nothing here, as Sandman tries to dive in the backline, but is still trying to go on Aziz here, and Aziz finally gets taken out from Zambam diving in him, and Shimano Business finally managed to push through this little choke. And we'll see if they take the second checkpoint.
Extremely surprising turn of events here. I thought that Giant Space Hamsters had it in their bag there, but Shimano Business did manage to skirt around Crazy Pants on that Tracer, doing work as always, managing to get the correct picks, and it looks like the Pulse Bomb also comes out from Crazy Pants. Doesn't quite manage to get his Death Hood, but takes him down to really low health, as the Rocket Barrage also comes out from far. They're providing a lot of damage out, as Death Hood does pop his whole hog, getting Panda out of his mech, as everyone's really spread out right now. But the picks, it looks like they're going in towards for Shimano Business, as Crazy Pants cleans up too.
Now, Wyvern and Crazy Pants did a great job there of holding them down. Why, especially with that open air, Giant Space Hamsters were a little bit coordinated or uncoordinated when they came out of the tunnel, and Why just punished them for it, taking out the supports first, and then whoever else came on to the point. One thing to note though, that Giant Space Hamsters did switch off of Zenyatta and onto Ana, Solius here running that Ana, and we're hope to see Nano Visor coming out soon here as they do initiate against Shmadio Business.
The hammer down does come out for Reindeer, but with no damage to follow up, he immediately gets taken out by Grimlock. Kind of miscommunicated Reinhardt out there, as they do push. Shimano Business is pushing around this corner. They are pushing quite a lot here, as Giant Space Hamsters isn't quite contesting to them, as Symmetra has switched to Symmetra.
Yeah, it looks like Symmetra is trying to take out a Tracer here, but meanwhile Self-Destruct gets bowled over to the back. Great block there by Reindeer, blocking it with the barrier. Wipe taking out Zuriel instantly, but meanwhile we have Zambam trying to dive on the backline. He is anti-healed, however, but does pop Primal Rage to get that health difference right back. Deathhood on the front line, trying to get a pick on the back line. Both teams are trying to get both picks on both back lines, but not much doing here. But Wipe finally getting a Rocket Barrage off of Symmetra, does manage to take him out. But Z is trying to reset the fight. Only resing one, but it is Reindeer on that Reinhardt, and that's going to be enough. But Wrinkled is trying to chase Mercy around, manages to fly away from her, and Zambam is still trying to fly the backline here. Does manage to take out Aziz. Symmetra does come back out, but gets melted instantly with Zambam. And while they are pushing on through here, Wrinkled is in the back, fly around to the back. And meanwhile, the Deathhood did pop on the whole hog, trying to push them back off the point. Reindeer is still alive, however. He hits that Earth Shatter, and he does manage to pop it. Gets two, takes out Winston, but Wrinkled answers right back with the res. But Reindeer does manage to get Lucio, so it's only one healer left for Giant Space Hamsters. Reindeer gets another pick onto with a Fire Strike, and it looks like going in the way of Giant Space Hamsters here. But Shmadio Business is not yet done, as Exact Panda is the only one left onto the point, and it is going to get taken out by Symmetra. Wive is above Symmetra, does save her life, and does manage to take him out, but Deathhood gets a nice hook, does manage to quite finish him off, but Exact Panda does finally get down. But Zuriel does deploy Tactical Visor, and it is going to try to take out Shmadio Business here, and Giant Space Hamsters will manage to defend against Shmadio Business.
That was a really crazy overtime there, as a lot. Shimano Business didn't really want to give up, as they kept pushing in, pressuring in, and for a second I thought they were going to have it. They were doing a really good job, but the problem was that Giant Space Hamsters spawn was right next to the point, and it was really hard to compete with that.
Yeah, Shmadio Business at the end, they're just kind of running out of steam, and then they got really picked off there in the backline, especially from locking that Lucio. He got picked off really early, with Giant Space Hamsters getting nice backline DPS play. And as a result, when the spawns kind of added up, and two, when they ran out of ults and resources, it was really hard for them. So great job there by Giant Space Hamsters for coming on through.
Really nice job for Giant Space Hamsters there, as we're going to be seeing Zuriel get a really nice 50% kill participation with 33 eliminations. Really well played by Zuriel there.
It looks like our next match is going to be Giant Space Hamsters versus Bob. And we're going to be taking another short break here, but when we come back, we are going to have Giant Space Hamsters versus Bob. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Midweek Madness. Looks like we're going to have Clickbait and Shimalio Business going at it on Numbani here. And we're going to start things off with Clickbait on defense and Shimalio Business on offense here. Last time we saw Shimalio Business, we had Crazy Pants on that Tracer making big plays for his team. And looks like he's going to go Tracer as well on that offense side. I think Tracer is going to be really helpful here, especially when you go in those corridors and make picks for his team. Then I think he's going to have a really good time here wrapping around Clickbait. And we haven't seen too much of Clickbait here, but we have seen Squirrel Man and McGrizzles before. McGrizzles is actually a teammate of Kabooks. So Kabooks, what do you think? How do you think McGrizzles is going to do this game?
McGrizzles is a flex player for our team, so he can play a variety of characters extremely well, in my opinion. And looks like he's going to be on that Winston. I haven't personally seen him a lot on Winston, but I can guarantee that he's probably going to be good on him. It's going to be interesting to see Crazy Pants and McGrizzles going against each other here, because we all are on the same team here. And take a look at Clickbait's lineup more closely. We are going to be seeing a Ghastly guy on that Torbjorn, so we're going to be seeing how well it's going to be playing out here.
Yeah, Torbjorn, not only Torbjorn, but Orisa as well. Scrollman running that Orisa. I'm interested to see how they're going to play out here. Orisa's really good at holding these chokes. She does a lot of damage with her gun, but it looks like they are going to be holding on to the top left side here. And that's going to stop them against dives, especially with air-to-air on that Zenyatta, just placing Discord orbs on whatever tanks come in, or a Pharah coming in as well. So Clickbait's in a really nice position to hold here, but if Shimalio Business plays it well, then I think they're going to do well. And looks like Crazy Pants is ready to get set up here, trying to get a nice flank on Clickbait, but he's defending it really well. Crazy Pants is harassing Shimalio Business. At the same time, Clickbait is trying to push onto the point as well. And it looks like Clickbait is cornered here, and while the Torbjorn turret does come back up, it does come back down once again. And Shimalio Business is slowly but surely pushing up by wrapping around all of Clickbait. And Clickbait's going to have to regroup on the top right ground here, or if they're not, else they're not going to defend. It looks like they're going to rotate with the Ghastly guy on that turret, putting it on the right side, but does get taken out by Wive yet again. And Shimalio Business is onto the point, finally, and looks like they're going to be cleaning up both Torbjorn and Mercy, as well as Ana. They are going to be taking the point from really nice play, from really nice wraparound there. Really good play for Crazy Pants for starting it off, harassing Clickbait, and just overall really good team coordination on Shimalio Business, like systematically dismantling that defense on Clickbait.
Yeah, really good job. Even though Clickbait had a really tight defense up top there on the left, Shimalio Business did a really nice job at breaking that really good defense and forming around, really focusing on the correct targets, and eventually taking the point there. And we're going to be seeing them pushing around the corner here with McGrizzles on that Winston trying to dive in here, but he's all alone. He's going to be getting cornered here as he ends up jumping out. We are going to be seeing Clickbait trying to back up and regroup here. There's still, Ghastly is still going to be on that Torbjorn. He might need to switch off because it's kind of hard to get a turret up because the cart is now pushing around the second corner here.
And Clickbait does hold on here, but actually Molten Core gets popped, so the turret does stay alive. However, Endspace End does pop Tactical Advisor, managing to take out both D.Va and Mercy. And he's still pushing on through here. Takes out Crazy Pants as well. And that triple kill is going to stop their offense, and Clickbait is going to have some breathing room here against Shimalio Business.
Definitely.
Really good play there. Really good play there, but it looks like Clickbait is running out of resources. They did pop that Molten Core, and looks like they did switch off that Torbjorn, so they should have a much better chance against this dive comp. But it's going to be a little bit scary as Shimalio Business is holding on to 4 ults as well as self-destruct almost online. So Clickbait's going to have to play really well here and use the position to their advantage.
We are going to be seeing the Rocket Barrage coming up from Mercy, immediately focusing down that far, but Ghastly has switched off that Torbjorn, and he is on McCree, and he is hunting far, and he immediately takes her out. We're going to see Primal Rage getting popped by Winston, as well as the Sound Barrier, allowing their team to push in and push in closer to the first point. We are going to be seeing Clickbait, though, getting that defense strong, trying to hold on to the point, not allowing them to get to the second point here because they're going to be dropping Sound Barrier as well as the Pulse Bomb. The Diva Bomb is going to be coming out as well, focusing down End Space, taking him out. And looks like this point is going to be secured for Shimada Your Business.
Clickbait there just could not handle that offense. Shimada Your Business just had all the ults in their favor. And while Clickbait did held really well and they used their position to their advantage, they weren't really able to handle that far Mercy especially. And as a result, they got taken out there. So great job of Shimada Your Business for using their advantage to the fullest and taking that first checkpoint. It looks like they are going to be wrapping around the second corner here. And while they do not have the ults too much, they are still having they do have a nice comp here. But meanwhile, the Orisa ult does get put down, and Clickbait is going to be pushing on through with Primal Rage.
We are going to be seeing the Primal Rage get popped by Winston. He is focusing on that backline, really desperate to take out one of the guys, but he doesn't quite hit him as Pulse Bomb comes out from Crazy Pants, taking out Ghastly Guy. As he also focuses down Screwman with Orisa down, but Grizz is the only tank on point right now, with Ghost trying to support him as Shimada Your Business is pushing around this corner, as Winston is jumping in here, and Tac Visor is getting popped by End Space, focusing down Crazy Pants as well.
And Clickbait is holding on nicely, taking out 3 on the side of Shimada Your Business. But it looks like Ringold does manage to res 2 of those 3. They get taken out, but it does get covered by High Noon immediately. And while it didn't get anyone just quite yet, it did manage to push on through here. Well, it looks like Clickbait is trying to defend. Gets a nice look on Lucio, but doesn't manage to finish him off. Great defense there by Shimada Your Business, keeping their supports alive. Trades going off from both sides, taking out both tanks and DPS respectively. And it looks like Shimada Your Business is still trying to push on through. Primal Rage does get popped to get that health difference right back up. He is discorded though, so watch out for him to get melted here. He's still in the backline, still pushing on through, and Shimada Your Business is also on the front, pushing on through against Clickbait as well. We have Clickbait still holding on here. Ghost still holding on to that res. So Shimada Your Business wants to push this. They are going to have to take out Ghost sooner or later. Rocket Barrage does get out, and Wipe does manage to take out End Space N. And Ghost is still in the back, still trying to hold that res. He does manage to fly in and gets a nice 4-man res. And Shimada Your Business is in the front line trying to take that wall, but a little bit too late here. Self-destruct does get bowled in. Transcendence covers the entire payload, covering all of Clickbait, but except McGrizzles as he gets taken out in the back. Gets demeched and gets killed on Baby Diva there. And Shimada Your Business is looking to push on through, but don't count Clickbait out just yet, as they are still holding on to res, and they do get 2-man res. And End Space Spin, unfortunately, does not get the Tactical Visor out, and Shimada Your Business takes the 3 points on this map.
Yeah, Shimada Your Business did a really good job of pushing in as a team there and finally taking out the point. That res wasn't really necessary, but it did allow them to fully secure the point and fully stop Clickbait from getting that defense held, definitely. And for each of these teams, we're going to be seeing them play different characters. As Ariel is going to be on Zarya this time, as we're going to be seeing Ringold and Ghost on Mercy as they were before. And
I just want to go back to that last fight real quick. Ghost on that Mercy was doing a really good job just dodging all the ults. He dodged Rocket Barrage, dodged Self-Destruct as well. And I really thought that Clickbait really had that when they got that 4-man res, especially after all the ults had just been used. But unfortunately, Shimada Your Business just played it really well, wrapping around the backline, especially Crazy Pants on that Tracer, doing really well harassing the backline on Mercy and Squirrelman on that Lucio as well. So great play there with Shimada Your Business coming back even after Clickbait got a nice 4-man res.
Looking at these team lineups, we are going to be seeing a Far Mercy come out for the attacking side via Clickbait with Ghost on that Mercy and McGrizzles on that Pharah. On the side of Shimada, we're also going to be seeing a Far Mercy with Ringold on that Mercy and Weeby on that Pharah as well. But for Clickbait, we're going to be seeing a more traditional defense with the Ghastly Guy on Reinhardt. But for Shimada, it looks like they're going to be doing a traditional counter dive. I think that's what the term is called, counter dive for defense here.
Yeah, and Shimada's gonna have to do, like, it gets really chaotic when you run this comp, so they're gonna have to really get their target selection correct and really make sure that they don't get pushed in here, because if they don't get the target selection correct and they get pushed in against the point, then Clickbait is going to have such an easy time, especially with Zarya and Reinhardt on the front line. They can just get bullied out really fast. was really critical to Shimada to rotate in and get the targets as they need to. And looks like Clickbait is going to be pushing the top left side classically. Reinhardt leading the charge, and both tanks are going to be onto the point immediately. Far and Mercy a little bit split up here as McGrizzles is in the back, but Wive gets a nice pick. So good start with Shimada Business off so far, playing this dive comp on defense as it should. And they also get a nice pick on Ghastly Guy and now Reinhardt. It's going to be really big as Clickbait doesn't have the front line they need to push on through, and they can't really bully Clickbait or Shimada Business at this point. And great job at Shimada Business for defending the point here.
Even though Clickbait went as a team and they pushed him straight, that concussive blast by far separated their tanks from the rest of their team, allowing them to get isolated by Shimada's dive and just completely focus him and take him out.
Yeah, and that isolation and that target picking was really good there for Shimada Business, running this essentially dive comp on defense really well. They're going to have to do it once more here, and Clickbait is pretty much going to deathball their way in, as that's their only choice. But we do have Ariel switching onto D.Va to take care of that Far Mercy, I'm assuming. And I think it's gonna help them for sure. But it looks like we have a custom blast on the Ghastly Guy on Reinhardt. He's all alone here, but Shimada Business doesn't opt to take him out. Instead, they dive the rest of the backline instead without their frontline tank. And we have Reinhardt still charging back on through. He's back in the front line. They have D.Va action here onto the points. Defense matrix each other. And Shimada Business didn't really get a pick there, and it looks like they would. And actually, Clickbait starts it off, and Crazy Pants gets taken out at the front line. And we have Rocket Barrage going off here on McGrizzles. Doesn't really take out anyone, just kind of zoning out, if you will. But meanwhile, we have Sound Barrier getting popped on the side of Shimada Business. They are holding on to Rez, so watch out for Ringo to come in and res them as well. But meanwhile, we have Ghost on with Rez as well. But we have Santos Strap to start off here as Shimada Business doesn't manage to take out anybody. Crazy Pants Tactical Advisor does come online, but he is running back onto the point, so watch out for him to pop out and get the pop line. He does manage to get the pop it here, as it looks like they doesn't manage to take out anyone. He is actually trying to kite out Clickbait, but looks like N-Space N is going to be the last one to get taken out. But meanwhile, Ghost manages to res both the tank and the support, even Lucio respectively here. Sound Barrier covers their res, but it looks like Shimada Business is still holding on to the point and still holding on to res as well, and doesn't really need to use it as both ults come down in Clickbait. And I think that's going to slow down Clickbait's push considerably as Shimada Business takes this point, and Clickbait just kind of staggers in here right now.
Yes, looks like that was a really long, drawn-out fight with Clickbait, especially with that res coming out for Ghost there. A little questionable res coming out from there, because I really wanted Clickbait to back up and group up, but with Ghost using that res, it forced them to keep fighting there, and it drew out the engagement longer than it needed to.
Yeah, and also, just for the fight alone, I think shouldn't have started, since Shimada Business had a really nice concussive blast onto the Ghastly Guy on Reinhardt, and I thought it was going to get picked off right there and then, but looks like it didn't manage to work out. They did manage to boop up D.Va, but it won't really matter too much. As Self-Destruct actually pops baby D.Va, and that's going to be what they need to start the fight off. Tactical Advisor does get popped in the backline here, trying to take out the backline of Shimada Business coming in through, and he is doing a really good job right here. Meanwhile, Mercy does get taken out by Crazy Pants, and Ghost was not holding on to that res, but it's going to be a huge pick regardless. Shimada Business, however, is holding on to that res, and they are going to need to regroup here. They're a little bit spread up, but Crazy Pants takes out McGrizzles, and their main source of damage is down in Clickbait. And we have Rocket Barrage just come out. Doesn't get shut down by Defense Matrix, actually, and does manage to take out one before it does get shut down. Crazy Pants does take out Advisor on the top, taking out the D.Va mech and Reinhardt as well. It looks like Shimada Business is going to be holding on to this point fully.
Really well played by Shimada Business, especially against that death ball there. They really demonstrated how to use dive on defense, focusing Zam on that Winston, focusing the supports and the squishy in the back with Weeb on that far, just getting rid of Reinhardt completely out of the equation, because once he was knocked off, it gave the rest of Shimada Business the opportunity to focus on those squishies.
Definitely, and Crazy Pants right here, really great job all around the whole match for making a lot of plays for his team. They really had a nice tracer bomb there at the end, as well as from before, and that just opened up a lot of opportunities for Shimada Business. So great job for Crazy Pants there for opening it up for his team. And also in that last defense as well, they did a really good job of target selection. It could have been a little bit better, especially when we got a nice concussive blast on the tanks. But overall, I think they played that defense as well as you'd like to. And getting those key targets and those key picks against Clickbait on defense was what they needed to take off the point.
Definitely. So now we're going to bring in our producer, Trumu, to talk about that last match on Numbani.
Numbani is actually a really good map in my opinion. Like how it's played, it's really interesting. But from what I saw, I think Clickbait, who was doing the counter dive, was actually really interesting since you don't really do dives on defense in general since it's just useless. But from what is it? No, Shimada actually, sorry. But from Wibe, he using his concussive blast, trying to boop off the Ryan so that his team can just do more damage without the Ryan shield getting away was actually really smart of them, so they can get more damage out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing that they also did really well on was getting that ult advantage. That's one nice thing about the dive comp. You can just come on right on in and just keep steamrolling with the huge ult advantage you have, since you're doing so much damage and you're doing so much damage to the backline as well, so much healing as well. Like healing, keeping up Winston. Even he's probably gonna die right away, but you still get some pretty nice ult charge as well. So great job for them for capitalizing on that as well. And if you're just joining us, Shamalia Business took the last point, or the last map on Numbani, and they're up 1-0 right now against Clickbait. Our next map is going to be Gibraltar, and so we're going to see how this plays out here. I think it's going to do really well with Shamalia Business, especially what we've seen from them, being able to rotate and being able to call targets as a team with their dive comp. So I think it's going to have the slight advantage here on Watch Point Gibraltar, especially there's a lot of areas and little areas that you can move through. So I'm going to give the advantage to Shamalia Business just from what we've seen from their comps and how they play.
Yeah, Shimada U Business is extremely flexible when it comes to choosing different heroes for different occasions. And we've seen that because we've watched them the multiple matches between each team, and they're able to choose and switch rapidly on the fly. And especially during that last match, they used the counter dive or the dive comp on defense extremely effectively, and it was able to focus the correct targets and take them out really nice and concisely.
However, I think we will see Clickbait running that pseudo deathblood as well. I think it'll work out for them too, because if they do manage to run the deathball really well, maybe like the Reinhardt Roadhog, I think that we saw from them before, and I think they're going to have a pretty nice time here as well. It's just a matter of how can they navigate through the map without getting picked off one by one. I think that's going to be the real pain point on Clickbait's side.
Now for Clickbait, we are going to be seeing McGrizz's on that Widowmaker. What do you think about this Widowmaker pick, especially at Mossborn Gibraltar?
I really like Widowmaker in general, but I think on these payload maps, you're going to have to get a pick a lot faster than you would if you're running a 2CP map, especially on Gibraltar here, since the sight lines go in your favor to not too much in your favor really fast. So I think if McGrison's can make it work and make them push through the underpass and onto the hangar just off the back of his picks, then I think it's going to do really well for Clickbait. But if they don't manage to do that, then I think they're going to lose out a lot of ult charge and ult advantage on the side of Clickbait. So look to see for McGrison's to take those picks in. But if he doesn't, then I think Clickbait's going to have a little bit of a hard time pushing on through without the ults and without the heroes that they need from the beginning.
Definitely, and we are going to be seeing Ghastly Guy on that Hanzo as well. We're going to be seeing two snipers for Clickbait coming out for attack. And on the side of Shimada, we are going to be seeing that, counter dive or dive on defense. I'm not sure quite what it's called. We are going to see that dive on defense as well as they did the last point. Let's see how effective it's going to be on a map that we already have the payload in.
Yeah, Clickbait is running that solo play, double sniper. Oh, they were running double snipers, but it looks like they're going to run the Widow now. But Wibe takes out End Space N really fast, and Shimada Business has all the advantage right now. It can just dive into the payload, and it looks like they're going to do just that with Zambam leading the charge, trying to take out McGrizzles, and does take him out handily. And while the rest of Clickbait is still pushing on through, they are going to be fought against here soon, as the rest of her team does get taken out Ghost is in the back here, getting zapped by Zambam, and it looks like Ghost is going to fly away successfully, but Zambam chases him down still and does manage to take him out. And Clickbait is still pushing on through here, actually, as the spawns are just so close. Grimlock gets a nice pick on Diva, and it's going to slow him down a little bit, but Crazy Pants is finally going to get a handle on things, and with 2 on the point, it's looking like Shimada Business is going to be holding on to this high ground.
Really good play by Shimada Business. For a second, it looked like Clickbait was going to be having that card there, but Shimada definitely showed that the dive works really well for them, as they're able to jump on the correct targets, focus them down, and take out the stragglers who are trying to push the point there.
And you can see the impact of that Widow not really doing anything. With Clickbait, pretty much have all their, or they're gonna have ults online soon, but Chris is still building theirs. Scrollman is still building on that rocket barrage, but it's not too much of a factor. Shimada Abyss just dives right in here and just cleans them up as well. Air pops self-destruct, actually. Not really sure if he got too much value out of that. He does get back in the mech, and Shimada Abyss is holding on to a huge ult advantage here, with Grimlock almost getting that sound barrier, and the rest of his ults are back up as well. Not to mention Ringgold holding on to that res as well. So you can really see the impact here of Clickbait not really getting anything off that Widow, and they're just gonna have to stay and build the ults, but precious time is getting lost here as they only have less than 2 minutes to get to the first checkpoint.
We are going to be seeing a switch for Clickbait. Aerial Error is going to be playing that Reinhardt now. Looks like they're going for the shield to protect the team, to try to force that push in there using the Death Ball. But we do have Grimlock taking out Screwman almost immediately there, making him staggered. But the spawn room is so close that it doesn't really matter at this point, as there's only like 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock, as it looks like they're going to be taking the high ground here, trying to force him off, trying to force the dive off, and trying to get him uncomfortable position here, as Zambam is going to be jumping on to go. He is going to be taking him out immediately. You're showing how effective that dive is, as the rocket barrage immediately comes up from Winbay, but he gets taken out by Endspace.
And the Clickbait really needs to take this fight here, as they only have a minute left to push onto the checkpoint. And Crazy Pants does take out Ghastly Guy, as well as Endspace on that Lucio, and that's going to hold him off a little bit more. But it looks like Ghost does come in, res those two, and they're going to try to fight once more as Sound Barrier covers their res. Shimada Abyss is a little bit split here, so I think Clickbait does have a chance to push on through. We have Primal Rage getting popped into the backline of Shimada Abyss. They're trying to hold on to it, but they're a little bit split up here, as Clickbait and McGrizzles and Squirrelman are on the back here as their DPS players. They're not together, and Shimada Abyss is just handling everyone in the back. But Rocket Bar does come out, Squirrelman, and the Sound Barrier covers it immediately. Tactical Advisor responds back on the side of Clickbait, tries to push on through, but the Defense Matrix is just shutting it down really, really hard, and there's not much that McGrizzles can do about that. And Shimada Abyss is still holding on to 2 ults, but Clickbait does have a fighting chance here. If they do manage to get Ringgold, but Crazy Pants is still going off. It does take out Ghastly Guy on that Winston, and Wibe does take out Reinhardt onto that payload, and Zambam is the only one on the point and is waiting for the rest of Shimada Business to support him. Crazy Pants does push in against Clickbait with that Tractable Advisor, does take a great business, and also takes out Squirrelman as well. And both DPS are down on the side of Clickbait, and with overtime counting down, it looks like Shimada Business is going to be taking the first point full hold against Clickbait.
A very interesting strategy for Shimada. I mean, they show that even on the points where the attacking team Clickbait had the payload already, that they're able to use the different corners and stuff, Watchpoint, Gibraltar, to their advantage, and just use Zambam on that Winston to dive their backline and shut down all the supports and squishes there, and basically Clickbait has no answer for this.
Yeah, and Clickbait, especially at the end there, they really just needed to take a fight. At that point, they were just backed against the wall. Shimada Business had all their ults, and really the only hope they had was just to push on through and hope for a full wipe, with some ults getting popped on Shimada Business, and just take the fight again. And I think that wouldn't be too bad, since their response was so close and really didn't have much to lose. And Clickbait looked like they were kind of doing that, challenging the high ground, but they were a little too slow on forcing the fight, and Zambam on that Winston just managed to jump on Ghost and just take him out instantly. And Clickbait, by then, it was a little bit too late for them to take the fight against Shimada Business and full wipe again. So good job there by Shimada Business for holding that, but it's unfortunate to see that Clickbait was backed up against the wall there, and they weren't able to at least take a fight or force some ults at the very end.
Now, looking at the team comps from each team here, we are going to be seeing Shimada running that Widowmaker. Crazy Pants is going to be on that Widowmaker, just like Magrusis was at the beginning. I wonder what picks he could get for it. Now, for Clickbait, we are going to be seeing some sort of dive, like counter dive, like we saw Shimada running on defense. But one difference, we're not going to have a diva. We are going to be seeing we're arguably having a diva and a roadhog. Looks like they're trying to go for some form of triple tank dive here almost.
Yeah, this is definitely a triple tank lineup here, especially with that Ana. We're going to have these tanks, stay up here for a while, especially if Ana doesn't get picked off. And Clickbait on that, running that Widowmaker and Crazy Pants, we're going to see if Crazy Pants is able to get a few picks here. So like we saw last match, if the Widow just gets shut down and punished, then it's going to be really hard for Shimada Business to push on through. But it looks like it's working as Crazy Pants is on the high ground, just taking shots all day. But Zambam, or Swirlman, is not having any of that as he pushes against Crazy Pants and he repels away. But remember, there's not much time, or there's not much that Shimada Business has to go through, as they only have to get onto that underpass here. So look to see Clickbait just diving aggressively onto the payload as they can't lose as much more ground.
It looks like the payload is getting closer and closer to the edge as the music starts playing, telling us that it's really, really close. We are going to see the payload almost there. All the picks are going in favor for Shimada here, and looks like they have it.
Yeah, great job to Shimada Business. That Widow paid off really well. While she didn't really get any kills, all that matters is that they covered the passage there, and Clickbait didn't really have an answer for her. They did have Winston finally jump on her at the end, but by then there was way too much ground to be lost, and the rest of Clickbait wasn't able to capitalize on it. But great job for Shimada Business for making that Widow work.
Definitely, and we're going to be seeing Weeby here getting the play of the game with that nice default Pharah skin. Now we're going to be bringing in Trumu for some final thoughts. Trumu, what did you think about that Watchpoint Gibraltar map?
Let's see. Gibraltar is a good map for those Widows and Lucios, but mainly for Widows since the point's so close. That's the same like King's Row too. There's no really, if you die with Widow, there's nothing to worry about since it's so close. But what was his name? Wib actually was going off with that Pharah. He helped the team so much with his Pharah, and also get good picks left and right, going behind and getting like their Ana, for example, or just in general getting good picks. But yeah, Shimada looks like is going to be taking third place of this tournament.
And did you think that Widow worked better on Shimada Business, or they just because I'm not sure if Widow was able to work out there, but it really worked out for Shimada Business there. What made you think that Widow worked out for them as a Widow?
Widow, like, the Widow didn't really get picks on the kill feed, but he was doing damage, like in general, getting those 120 body shots through all the targets, and a few headshots too, which was helping their team doing more damage than normal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know where Trumu's coming from. I mean, the Widow wasn't like lighting up the kill feed, but what she was doing, she was providing a distraction. Like, she was a constant threat in the back line saying, oh God, there's a Widowmaker in the back line. She's going to shoot my head off type of vibe. And it really forces a kind of psychological effect in the enemy team saying, oh my God, there's a Widowmaker. We have to take her out immediately or she's going to take us out.
Yeah, I think that worked out well for them, especially at the end there, where Clickbait didn't really contest that Widow as well, and they just lost a lot of ground by the time they contested it. So I think Shimada Business has played that really well, despite the fact that, like you said, they didn't really like the kill feed, but was meaningful enough to stop their push.
Now, I do think, was that our last match?
Yeah, I think so. As I think that Tormented by Gnomes and one other caster is going to be taking care of the final, so I think it's going to be it for us, as they are going to be casting the last two matches here.
So, It's been really fun, guys. I apologize for my voice. I have a bit of a sore throat. I have to thank Feeney for taking over a little bit of my casting duties here. He was really good job play-by-play, Feeney. I appreciate it. Always thank you, Trumu, for producing for us. We couldn't have done any of this without you, Trumu. Our computers aren't strong enough to cast this and broadcast this on Twitch. Anything else you guys want to add before we log off here?
No, I think that's it. Thank you for all the teams we casted. It was a lot of fun casting you guys, and thanks for Overwatch University for letting us cast the Midweek Madness here for most of it. So appreciate you guys for giving us this opportunity to get better. But that's it for me, man. And I think we're about to sign off here. So, and then we're gonna hand it off to Tormented by Gnomes and I think one other caster to cast the finals. So with that, I'm Feeney.
And I'm Kabooks.
And we are signing off. We hope you enjoyed the stream.